The world's most renowned racetrack.
From the get-go, they know I need to be on it.
It's going to be even harder now.
It was intense.
A few surprises.
Like any other track in the world. The elevation changes are incredible.
If people miss their braking point, if people get scared at the wrong moment.
We're getting close to the going home. They can sense it.
We're going to see people show us if they've got it or they haven't.
Vettel, 4 times world champion.
Hello and welcome once again to the Race All-Star Series Power. It's been a long season, or has it? Because it seems to have flown by. It's week. This is what happens today. Over 4 weeks, and legends of motorsport have battled on the track. In the Legends, we were joined by heroes of the track, both past and present. Former Formula One world champion Jenson from taking the $1,000 to a charity of his choice. The Pro Cup sees the biggest Formula One World Endurance Championship, Formula E, and Indycar continue to impress to the virtual world. Aston Martin Racing and Mercedes-AMG neck and neck throughout the season, but who will come out victorious? The very best virtual racers from around the globe are chasing glory. Could still take the championship, but they have to hope that Mercedes driver Bono, despite not winning on the track yet, he leads the pack. Tonight's we're at the circuit, where we'll find out who will become the All-Star Series. In all 3 categories, but joined now by a champion, it's Julian to Silverstone.
No, love it. Really excited for this final round. It's a legendary circuit as well, so fast corners. Very excited.
Yeah, and it would be hard to imagine Silverstone. It is, as we said, the home of motorsport. We'll get into it a little bit, but we'll show you that in just a minute. First and foremost, we're going to look at the schedule because accommodate for the oval for the Legends drivers. This time around, it's back to the 15-minute schedule again for the Pro Cup, the Sim Masters, and the Legends. So a little bit quicker in the action for those guys, but again, a big championship at stake for the Sim Masters, Jillian.
Yeah, I think that the Legends Trophy brilliant racing, and I expect more of the same. But Jenson Button's done a great job. The sim and the Pro Cup as well. But I mean, across the board, this unbelievable races. And again, we're at a Grand Prix track. As you say, we'll mostly know it. Pretty much, they'll all know it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and this is a look at the tables. We'll talk about the manufacturers in a moment as well. To lead the Pro Cup, he's got a nice 13-point lead over Nicky Timu. Congratulations to him and his wife on their son, Isaac. Charlie Eastwood's been consistent. That has made the difference in the Pro Cup, as you can see in the manufacturer. It's Ant Davidson, which we'll have to see a little bit more from. Started off the season, but back to Silverstone, maybe it's a bit more comfortable for him. Bono Huis. It's week 3. Kuba Basinski has been playing the reverse strategy. Whether or not he'll be joining us, but watch for Yuri Simoncic. He is extremely close. Esports driver. It'll be very tight at the team's championship as well. Jensen Button is at the top. Great weekend out last week over Indy, but it was Fernando Alonso, which we'll talk about, that was ultimately the class of the field. But title for the Legends, which is pretty impressive, you have to say.
He's absolutely on fire.
Well, I think he's actually standing by to speak to right. Jensen, you've been the class of the field, but I'm going to throw you was way back in 2017, and you were a bit hesitant about all this sim stuff. Everything?
Well, there's no real racing. Yeah, I mean, racing with these guys makes it extra fun. You know, people that I've raced categories, but also people that I've always, wanted to race against from different days, sort of almost half a century ago. So it's really cool talent, and obviously this is all fun for us. We're as well. You want to do well, but no, sim race has gone pretty crazy lately, and I'm pretty happy to be talent in racing drivers, but also you see how good some of these sim drivers are, consistent they are. I'm doing the Le Mans 24 hours, and the are just so fast. You're chasing them the whole time, but be a different way of driving, but all the same. It's got a steering wheel, and you're fine-tuning yourself the whole time.
I mean, the best of luck today. We're going to send it to a break, and we'll get back into the action in just a second. Now, as well, joining us online, we're going to take a look back. I kind of threw him under the bus about sim racing and said that he was very open to the new drivers coming through it, but was unsure. And as you say, he can race against so much talent. There's so much going on. And some of the talent, the last week's highlights, Fernando Alonso was incredible.
Full win. It was super impressive. This was just so great to see. And really, it came down to Alonso versus Button amongst the likes of Mario Andretti as well. But yeah, these two form the class of the field. I'm interested to see how Alonso can do again now, back in classic F1 machinery. But I mean, it was just so great to see them. Nothing to separate them at the line there at race 1.
Yeah, unbelievable. Was Mario Andretti joined us. This is, by the way, Alonso's second race, started 21st. By lap 4, he was already near enough to the lead, if not in it. Through traffic, but Mario Andretti joined us, which was super cool as well. Age 80. Competition.
And he was competitive. He was really quite... This is alien to, I mean, not to Jenson. He would have grown up in Formula Andretti, 80 years old. the prospect of a simulator would have been kind of straight away. So I think your racing instincts, they don't seem to be vanishing for any of these guys.
Alonso as well. He's only been in the championship now for 2 rounds. Zandvoort, but I think if you had given this guy a full championship, him and Button, that might be a battle of us as always. I think there's a number of them already dialed into the server. Ones on your screen now. Many of them stand out to me for different reasons. We've had so many different that actually, in my mind, that's impressed. I have to point out is Mike Epps. That's a category because he was so fast in the pro, and he's looking excellent so far.
Impressive, because in the last series, he was fighting for the Pro Cup. Separate races, but he was doing really, really well. But he didn't actually win the Pro Cup because he's basically too competitive into the Sim Masters. Fighting with these guys, and they are the absolute establishment.
Very impressive. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at We Are The. We're about to get into the action in about 2 seconds' time. Well, two's a crowd. We're going to bring in Jillian Palmer as we get back into the action on the Race All-Stars. Jack is going to be joining us to make sure we cover everything in all of today's. This is it. Everything's open, all 3 championships. But for some people, this is really looking to get their name out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a brilliant. Can't wait to see how it ends up, to be honest with you, because I think that the tough. Jenson Button looks like he has a bit of a handle on things in the legend. It's all up for grabs.
I think it very much is up. Certainly, who's been grabbing a great amount of points for Aston Martin. It has to be that with us now.
Charlie, how's it going? Final round. You're 3rd in the standings, but your teammate Nicky Thiem is 2nd. Or is it every man for himself?
Yeah, we definitely have to. Aston Martin Championship is the big one for us, to be honest. We ended up colliding together, just going down the straight, and which goes out of the realms of teamwork. But yeah, we're trying to keep the lead over the Mercedes guys, who probably are both of us. So and with the super sub, it's going to be pretty tough.
Okay, best of luck for the race.
And for that race, we mentioned it, it's Silverstone. It's great track, definitely. We talked a little bit about this actually live, but just us chatting, that you guys think the newer circuits opened up a lot more racing up.
Oh, it has, definitely. The old track was great. That's the difference there that's just been highlighted, the old Vale chicane, which the legend, the slower Formula One track. But yeah, the new layout with the new big sweep.
So, sorry, we just cut to the break for no reason, but a bit different for the Legends versus the Pro and Sim drivers, but this is a it opens up a little bit more.
Yeah, this is really coming into the great section. Baggett's and Beckett's. This is using the old start-finish line and the old pits. And look at that, sliding through here. It's going to be spectacular, I'm sure. All the way going through all those corners. And then a long run down the hangar. A really, really quick corner. There's so many fast corners around this circuit. It's really... But with the straights, there is overtaking as well, and particularly with the new section that was added.
Yeah, somewhere in that realm, you're you certainly know.
I thought Jack's normally the guru
I'm
on
sure
these
you've been
sort of
there many
things.
times as well.
No, the
It was 2010. It was 2010. came in, because I think I won the last race on the old one, actually.
You raced on the new one as well. It's at the start of 2010 in 2. Because I was
No, that was the last one on the old one when you were marshalling. Last winner. Well, technically Philip Eng was the last winner, but I won the day before. With the new one as well, that's great, and it creates overtaking and easy to get it wrong, as this onboard lap is threatening to do. But better overall lap for having the new section.
Jack marshalling, there you go, man of all trades. You did, and literally a Jack, including commentary, which we'll get you into in just a second. That seems to be. We've got the races coming up, Jack.
Looking forward to it getting underway. Qualifying is going to be key, especially ever, but also the reverse grid element with the title decider.
Well, don't for you guys at home, more than just entertainment, but a chance to get some goods for it. Works. If you'd like to chant screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us. Formula 1 Vice World Champion, who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi. That there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on Rocket. Huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy to the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to the world, so why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check. Check out the deals. I think incredible race this should be today, Jack, as we get into it. Lots of championships on the line. Jenson Button has a chance to give more money away to charity. Who does against him is Emanuele Pirro, and apparently he had some issues with his sim this week, but he's
Emanuele, how's it going? How have you had some problems with your steering wheel ahead of the final round? That's not ideal.
With the throttle, yeah. But now, yesterday I took it. It should work. I like to do this micro thing, and it should work. To be really honest, I don't feel circuit. It's a long circuit, but I have Japan to recall the old touring car days. Has a t-shirt, and at the time it worked. So think that can be similar.
Okay, well, best of luck for the.
It's because this is the last round. Thank you so much. It's been a drive with all these old friends, and really enjoyed it.
Okay, great. Cheers.
ready for battle. And not only that, does his own work on the pedals, being, you know, pretty rudimental, but makes it work. I'd love to see a great result from him today. Very cool for everyone, especially for the sake of the championship. Maybe Button in that reverse grid has a little. Start things off, though, with our Pro Cup in just a sec. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series Power. Most, I will correct myself. I said at the top that Anthony Davidson will be looking to make some points. It's a little bit different, in fact, because Stoffel Van Dorn, who actually just got a leads that championship, is going to be in his place. So maybe that's a bit of a boost, Jack.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Stoffel can do, because, of course, doing tricky 2 races in a week, it could be quite tricky. So will he have the kind of only time will tell. But it certainly adds a bit of another battle with Aston Martin. And as we heard from Charlie Eastwood earlier on, so what can Mercedes do to try and stop him?
Well, and they're in the lead right going into the last round. Certainly Esteban has been super impressive ahead of something done, because he's been just about to the victory lane, but not quite.
Really, the whole way through. So that's been their main thing, really. Good championship, but it's been the second driver, and that's where Eastwood really.
Jack, of all trades, we've got you back in the one that you're most known for. It's time. Commentary away.
So out on circuit then is the Race All-Star Series Pro Cup entrance, and here's championship Gutierrez coming through Luffield. And out. Let's see what Gutierrez can do. And this isn't the timing line, of course, for these drivers. Is down at the wing.
Yeah, for these guys, they're one style of Silverstone. It's the legends that are on the old track, quite into Cross, just halfway around his outlap, and then he'll wind it up Vale, but the tighter Vale, and so they one track, and the legends are on a very slightly altered track. Which will be interesting when we get to racing, because there's a lot of fast corners straight away.
Gutierrez down into Vale and out through the right-hander and over the line. Towards the first corner at Abbey. So strong in qualifying, hasn't he, Gutierrez? That's really helped him, obviously. Challenge.
It's pretty much the fastest guy. Last 4 weeks, on average, he's the fastest man, and he's. That's not enough on its own, though. He's been solid enough in the reverse, where Nicky Team and Charlie Eastwood have been more competitive. So this go the full course of the day, because both Team, who's on a lapping picture coming out of Luffield, they've been competitive, but they're important.
Through the right-hander of Copse, not turn one anymore. I said it will. Team up in the top right, and out onto the good first two sectors for Gutierrez, but we don't really have a comparison. Lapper here, Jolyon, as well, isn't it? But I don't think we're going to get multiple laps in this. No, it's not going to be doable, I don't think. So it's all or nothing, really.
So it's going to be hard on the tyres, this circuit. So many fast corners. Tyre. It is a one-lapper because Gutierrez is crossing the line now. The top, that's crucial, by just 12 thousandths of a second, and that's his one lap done.
Here he comes out over the line. Team fourth. So Gutierrez on provisional pole, but look at Stoffel Van Dorn. Agustin Canapino's in second. Team fourth. Fifth. As they come down into the right-hander.
Yeah, the other Aston Martin entry, that might yet go down if a few others. Another championship contender, and certainly one of the team contenders, with a little bit on the back foot. The times are close, though. He's just 0.4 of a second away.
Gabby Chavez through the right-hander. Daniel Rowbottom is in 30th place at the moment. I don't know if he's going to get this. No time, but it seems as though he's gone out quite late.
The time to get across, so for some reason Rowbottom has left the pits too late. pretty sure, before the end of this lap. So that's going to let some people off the hook. Has just about done the job. Here's Bradley Smith, who like the best of laps for him here.
Smith, he's going to remain there as he cuts the timing beam. Then takes pole position. What a strong drive. Delivering, doesn't he? I think that's the impressive thing about Gutierrez, is he just keeps the...
He's on a roll. I'm impressed with Van Dorn, straight in, and third is his teammate Mercedes, Gutierrez on pole. Mercedes into play in the team's championship.
So, look at the grid. Esteban Gutierrez starting on pole position. Agustin Canapino in second. Team in fourth place. Then we've got Esteban Guerrieri in fifth. Starts in sixth spot. Bradley Smith and Tom Ingram in seventh and eighth. We have got ninth for Charlie Eastwood. So that's a bit of a frustration in the reverse grid formats. 10th is Alex Buncombe. Yaya Fay in 12th. Tristan Vosier 13th. Devlin Different Gaitkin, the top 16. Aidan Millward, Kevin Hansen, Lachlan Di Francesco, and Michael Benya. And Alman, Seb Montoya, and James Pull, the top 24. So the ultimate race of the season about to get underway in the Pro Cup. Gutierrez on pole. Team in third and fourth is not a great start from Gutierrez. Canapino. Babby curve, but Stoffel Van Dorn in the other Mercedes is in there as well. It's Charlie Eastwood who we need to keep an eye on, trying to climb up the order. Someone's arrived in back. Team almost got involved in that. Johnny Adam and Alex Buncombe. I think Eastwood has managed to get himself up into fifth position, but it's a Mercedes 1-2.
And it was a really good recovery from good. Canapino was going to be straight through. His start was better. He was on the inside. Just scrubbed less speed through turns 1 and 2. And Canapino might have got a little nudge in the back from Nicky Thiem as well, down at and that allowed Van Dorn to swoop through as well. So Mercedes 1-2, but at least fifth, and he's just ahead of Yifie.
Gutierrez in front. Van Dorn second. Behind Canapino as they come down the start-finish. Stowe. And he can't. Can he get the job? Hangs on around the outside. Oh, that was bold from Nicky Thiem, wasn't it? Third place.
Ruthless overtake, but it really, he did it well to hang it around the outside. Team ushered him to the outside at but he was ahead before Vale, and luckily he was ahead. Otherwise, Pino had any level of overlap because he did snap across quite aggressive. Team up into third, and he's getting on with it quickly. He needs to for the.
This was the replay on board with Sebastian. If he sees any of the chaos in front, whoa, he's and then spins around. Not particularly cautious into the loop that time around.
Into turn 3, wasn't he? There was a couple on the outside that went wide, but I think he then launched into the side of someone else. So overzealous.
Lap 2. Gutierrez, half a second in front of Stoffel Van Dorn. Nicky Thiem in third. Yeah, Gutierrez, Adam. And Ingram in the top 10. We're on board with Esteban Guerrieri in the top right. In 7th. he tries to chase down Fei.
Nicky Team's flying. Team's right behind Van Dorn, the second of the Mercedes into or Brooklands on the next lap. But yeah, Van Dorn's not exactly falling. Race pace under his belt right now, past Canapino, and now look, Dorn really, really close.
Lap 3 of 7. Eastwood in the top right in 5th spot. Canapino. And then by 0.3 of a second. We're on board with Van Dorn, looking back at Van Dorn, because he's not in a drivers' championship fight. He's going to be very in 2nd spot and do the team job on Nicky Team. Chance of a second behind Canapino.
Both quick though, right? Van Dorn will be happy in 2nd, but he won't be happy with the got in his mirrors, because Team is super, super close, and there are saving grace for Van Dorn right now is he's within the DRS of Gutierrez. It's like he's actually bunching them all up a little bit. Gutierrez managing his pace. But yeah, look, that's the top 5, all very, very close. And back at Canapino, who had a big lock up there, but got away with it. But the
Gutierrez 0.7 of a second ahead of 5, very much all in their own breakaway group, with Canapino in 4th place. Through the left-hander now, left at Aintree and out onto the Wellington straight again, the bridge and down towards Brooklands. Nothing Canapino fight. Canapino, he is currently 50 points away from Gutierrez. There's a lot of points on offer, but it's still, especially with Gutierrez and Team all up, and Eastwood up in Esteban Guerrieri.
I think Canapino wipe each other out. He's the closest to wiping himself out now. He's just gone. And he's very scrappy, Canapino. I think he must be taking a bit everywhere, locking up everywhere, and with Eastwood right behind. I think here comes Canapino then into Stowe.
To the outside, tries to get the down into Vale. Team leaves the door open a little bit. Canapino takes advantage. The Argentinian, no. Team holds on, and if anything, it's well. Manages to squeeze up the inside. He then runs a little bit wide, down towards out. And whilst that looked as though it was going to fall away from, they've now managed to get him into 3rd and 4th, which isn't obviously still behind Mercedes as far as the championship is concerned.
Yeah, they're saving big points right now. Obviously, Mercedes out front is doing some damage, but the reverse grid, there are discrepancies. Tell you what, Van Dorn's still close to Gutierrez, and these 3. And Charlie Eastwood said earlier he had a little touch with Nicky Team. They were so close as well. He nearly nipped past them both there. About didn't. Aggressive from Nicky Team, definitely to force Canapino wide.
It's up the road at the moment. They look almost unstoppable up at the front, with Gutierrez ahead of Van Dorn. Canapino tucks in behind the Aston Martin of Charlie Eastwood. You can see how hard Eastwood is working. Penalty there for Daniel Rowbottom. As we go back on board with Canapino, about to start the penultimate lap of the race.
I wonder if Team's losing his tyres now, because he was very, very quick early on, threatening to pass Van Dorn, and now it's Eastwood that looks the quickest of this bunch, trying to pass Team. Here's the replay. Then Canapino. I mean, Team left the door open at this point. Canapino's well through, but just Nicky Team keeps a wheel in, forces his rival out wide, and then there, Eastwood. I think they might have even had a slightest of touch, the two teammates there, but in the end, it worked out perfectly for them.
So Gutierrez continues to lead the race, extending both he and Mercedes' advantage at the top of the championship, with one more race to go after this, but it will be a reverse grid race, a very busy reverse grid race. Penultimate lap of the race now, though. Gutierrez leading. That's the view back from the Mercedes driver up at the front in the top right. But Team and Eastwood are still under big pressure from Canapino. Van Dorn playing the perfect rear gunner, really. In second place, Canapino runs out wide. Holds position in behind the Aston Martins for the moment. Through Maggots and Beckett's, then through Chappell. Out onto the hanger straight once more. Guerrieri, Ingram, Smith and Adam are the rest of the top 10.
Team could be in trouble here. With the DRS now active, you see him weaving early on the straight just to try and break the toe. And I think it's actually worked for him. Eastwood not quite close enough. Canapino thinks about it. Big oversteer on the way in. Huge commitment. And he's alongside Eastwood, is he? No, not quite. And again, Eastwood all over the mirrors, trying to keep Canapino behind, but defending well. Canapino's not over. He's not done with this, with just one lap to go to try and get fourth place back and maybe even a podium.
Final lap of the race. What a great fight this is. Gutierrez out in front, 0.6 of a second ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn. Nicky Team, though, 4 seconds back in third position, with Charlie Eastwood behind in fourth. And they are trying to hold on to those positions, because Agustin Canapino is right behind in fifth position. Out through the Aintree left-hander onto the Wellington straight for the final time. And really, down into Vale, I think is going to be Canapino's last attempt. And he's close, isn't he, to the back of Charlie Eastwood. I guess for the driver's title, this isn't hugely important, but for the team's title, which is where Aston Martin and I think Mercedes are focusing, this could be crucial, whether Canapino can make this move or not.
At least Eastwood is keeping within a second of Team, which will help him defend from Canapino with the help of DRS coming up.
Yeah.
But it looks like both the Aston Martin drivers, they're struggling with their tyres. Their pace isn't good. And this is about to be the final chance for Canapino to get amongst them. Exit of these fast sweeping corners. And now here we go. Can Canapino get the exit, get the DRS, and the run down the hanger straight?
On board with Canapino. Down towards Stowe. Not really closing in enough. He sent a full commitment lunge last lap. He's going to get a better drive through Stowe, down towards Vale. They'll have to go to the outside here. Eastwood will cover the inside, no problem. Gutierrez comes through the final corner. He is going to take the win. It's a Mercedes 1-2. Has Canapino got the drive? No, not quite. I think he just got a bit of oversteer, and that means that it is third and fourth for Aston Martin across the line. Team in third, Eastwood in fourth, Canapino in fifth. What a great fight that was as the next queue of cars finishes the race.
Big save that from Aston Martin. Brilliant fight. They did well. I don't think they had the pace, to be honest. They did early on, but maybe just used too much of their tyres, and that left them very vulnerable late to Canapino again. But great racecraft. Charlie Eastwood putting his car in the right places, and Canapino with more pace just couldn't get round him.
So that's the end of the first race of the day in the Pro Cup. Esteban Gutierrez taking the win. Second place for Stoffel Van Dorn. Really strong stuff from Mercedes. And you know what? It's a really cool sign of intent from Mercedes, isn't it? That they've brought in Stoffel Van Dorn to sort of to wrap up the championship this weekend. You know, that's definitely the aim that they've brought in. And seems to be working so far. Aston Martin in third and fourth. Good to see them scoring some strong points. We'll see what it does to the championship a little bit later on. But there's no doubt that Gutierrez extends his lead at the top of those standings. The gap was 13 points. It'll now be a lot more than that, but we've got the reverse grid race to be the title decider. That's when it's going to get so stressful for these drivers. So let's speak now to Esteban Gutierrez, the Mexican, who had a very dominating race there. Congratulations, Esteban. A good win and more lead in the championship, but I guess it's all going to come down to the reverse grid race, isn't it?
Yes, it is. The reverse grid is always the biggest challenge of these events, but I'm prepared and I'm going to push for it.
Okay. Is it good to have Stoffel Vandoorne with you as your teammate this weekend?
Certainly, because we are fighting as well for the for the team's championship, and we'd like to win that as well. So we are pushing together to try to be as clean as possible, and obviously pushing to get the best result out there.
Cool. Best of luck for the reverse grid.
Thank you very much, guys.
So, Esteban Gutierrez takes the win. A strong performance from him and Mercedes, but they're going to have their work cut out with the reverse grid race coming up later on. Next up, we turn our attention to the Sim Masters, the fastest gamers in the world, about to do battle at the Silverstone circuit, and the championship is on the line for them as well.
If Mercedes brought in Vandoorne to win the team's championship specifically, that is a heck of a way to start. What a good show, but also Aston Martin not willing to go lightly. That's almost perfect to set up our reverse grid race.
I think it's interesting with Stoffel. He didn't try and pass Gutierrez. I mean, he was very close for a very long time, and he just sat there very patiently, didn't even show a nose, didn't do anything. It looked like the team masterpiece, basically. Super sub in, a nice 1-2 with no pressure, just holding your main opposition back. Aston Martin did well to salvage what they could. But, I mean, they're going to be feeling the heat now because Vandoorne, he's shown what he's about, and he's on Gutierrez's pace, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, Eastwood said it. They're not as focused on Nicky Team trying to catch Gutierrez as they are trying to secure the position in the team's title. Someone who's going to be trying to secure a great result today is none other than touring car legend Jason Plato, but he'll, of course, be in the Brabham. Silverstone, at least he's familiar with, Jack.
Yeah, Jason, great to have you with us again this weekend. Firstly, just a word on the oval racing last week. How did you find that at Indianapolis?
Oh, man, I just loved it. It was genuinely some of the best racing I've ever done since I started in karting. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was great. But I've come to the conclusion that the lads that do that in the real world are off their rockers.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, isn't it? What are you expecting today? We've seen your pace in these 77 cars get better and better throughout the season. You're going to finish on a high?
Do you know what? I'm struggling a bit today. I've been messing around with all the different settings, and I've got myself in the right pickle, and I've not done enough laps. I mean, I'm just not very good at this sim stuff at the moment. I think I need to invest more time and energy in it. And I must admit, you know, on a lovely Saturday it is now, the weather's glorious in England, it's quite tricky to stay off the lady petrol. But yeah, I'm focused. I'm drinking nothing than an energy drink at this very moment in time, but that might change pretty quick. But do you know what? This is just great fun, isn't it? It's great fun. I wish I was a bit more competitive at the moment. Shame, because obviously I sit on the board of directors at Silverstone, so I should know my way around the place. But I just can't get it to turn. It's me. I'm just not doing it right.
Okay, well, best of luck and have fun in 2 hours' time.
Yeah, can we drive on ovals again? Because that was all right.
Yeah, I don't make the decisions, but we'll get it sorted.
Oh, yeah, NASCAR at Talladega or something. Shake and bake, buddy.
Okay, we'll see you there.
Oh,
there we go.
That might be my favorite interview all year. That just sums up everything. So much fun. Let's do some NASCAR shake and bake.
What else can you say? Well, we've got a new series coming up, haven't we, in the next couple of weeks? So maybe we can have a word with the important people and you know, get some NASCARs at Talladega in.
Wow, we'll see. We've got a couple of hours. Maybe we can work on that angle while the racing's going on. I'll take care of that while you guys are in the commentary. Yeah. Maybe that's the way to do it. We'll see what happens. We're going to see what happens as well with the pro drivers. with the sim drivers coming up. Obviously, Jason Plato and the Legends a little bit later on, but the Sim Masters is going to be extremely tight at the top. Bono, Huis, and Simoncic are the protagonists in that today as well, Jack.
Yeah, Bono Huis at the top of the standings. He hasn't actually won a race yet this season, so if he can wrap up the title, that's going to be mightily impressive. But as always with the Sim Masters, a lot of it is going to come down to qualifying, because that's a really important part.
Well, welcome back to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. It's time for what is arguably the closest race anywhere in the world right now in terms of sim racing, real racing. It doesn't matter because these sim drivers are neck and neck. 16 drivers total had a chance coming into this. And Julian, it really is a battle of qualifying because there's been some different strategies.
We've seen some tactics with the reverse grid. So we've had Kuba Brzezinski, Kevin Siggy, Erhan Yayovsky, some of the main front runners who just basically wait and try and be last, effectively, so long as they're still within 107%, because that still gives them a back start and then a front start. And it means they don't go alongside the likes of Bono Huis or Jurne Simoncic, who have been probably overall the fastest. But let's see what happens again here, because obviously the championship's now at stake. The pressure's up, and there's a little bit more to lose for some.
So here they are then, out on circuit now for the qualifying session. And we will see what they can do. We're watching Bono Huis there in the bottom left. He is the championship leader then. So let me just get at the championship standings. Where have they gone? There we go. He is only 21 points ahead of Jurne Simoncic. Those are the two fighters. Kuba Brzezinski, second in the standings, couldn't make it today, nor could Rudy van Buren. So really it is Bono Huis and Simoncic that are going to be going head to head. He's on his lap at the moment. Again, these drivers are using the wing as their pits. And here is Jurne Simoncic, who's been very strong this year in various leagues all over the place. In FSR, most recently winning their Grand Prix at Monaco, but here he won the opening race, second in event 2, and really it was event 3, which was Zandvoort, where Simoncic struggled, only finished 8th in the first race there. Apart from that, he's had podiums in each of the first races of a weekend, so qualifying has been a strength. We'll see what he's got here.
I think he's been the quickest outright, really, in the whole lot, Simoncic, especially in these cars, which he seems well suited to. Comes across the line and has not done a brilliant lap, though. Only third behind Kasdorp and Baldi, who's on pole. But crucially, he's ahead of Bono Huis. So Simoncic v Huis, third and fourth. It's pretty spicy.
What a lap that is from Gergo Baldi. He's been a sort of front runner, you know, top 10 finishes here and there, but to come out and secure a pole position like that is really impressive. I'm just trying to look for him in the standings there, but a very strong drive from Baldi. He's got a best finish this season of 9th, which was the first race last time out at Indianapolis. So a best of 9th, and now he's stuck it on pole position.
It's a serious effort. You've got to look a fair way down to see him in the championship. He hasn't featured at the front kind of at all, as you've just said, and he's just stuck it on pole position, pending anyone doing a big late improvement. But I don't think it's going to be Romanides, who seems to be going for the reverse grid here. Great lap from Baldi. Kasdorp as well, who's shown sort of more potential pace in the past, and the two of them have got themselves ahead of Simoncic and Huis. So that's not ideal for those two, because there's going to be cars ahead, cars behind. It's harder for them to run at their absolute optimum strategy, given particularly Simoncic's love of saving the tyres and going hard late on in the races.
On board here with Jurne Simoncic, who's got a couple of seconds left. He hasn't been a great lap, this one, for Simoncic by the looks of things. And he comes across the line and remains in third position then. So it is going to be Baldi that will take pole position. And a very strong drive from him. Simoncic third, Huis in fourth. And we will now move on to the race. We'll have a full look at who finished where in a bit. but as in who were the drivers that went for the reverse grid, but we've got our championship protagonists up at the front. Simoncic ahead of Huis, and I think Huis will be fairly happy in this one, with the gap being as big as 21 points, to sort of just follow Simoncic to a degree. He'll want to get in front of course, but it's not all or nothing for Huis being out-qualified by Simoncic.
Fourth is a good result, really. He's kept himself right within touching distance of Simoncic. Simoncic really has to beat Huis, and ideally he's got to win the race here to take a strong fight to Bono in the later race.
So Baldi will start on pole position. Kasdorp will start alongside him on the front row of the grid. Lucas Blakely, who was the latest guest on the Race Esports podcast, which you can download from all podcasting places. He starts in 5th on the grid ahead of Risto Capit. Mike Epps, 9th on the grid. Nikodem Wisniewski in 11th place. Yuri Toman in 12th position.
It's disappointing for Wisniewski.
Yeah, that's true. He's had a strong season so far as Wisniewski, 9th in the standings, but a race winner in the first race in Portugal. But here we go. The race gets underway in the Sim Masters. Baldi gets away from Kasdorp. Simoncic immediately on the attack, trying to take second place around the outside, and Abbey's going to be a brave one. Bono Huis tries to take advantage of that and get up the inside of Simoncic himself. Lucas Blakely is on the outside. Huis, does he make it through into third? They're still side by side, and he does. Bono Huis gets ahead of his title rival, Jene Simoncic, in the first couple of corners. Blakely still 5th. Capit, Siebel, Bock, Epps, Wisniewski, the rest of the top 10. Capit gets ahead of Lucas Blakely, but it's Gergo Baldi who is leading the way down into the left-hander at Brooklands. Bono Huis up into third. Perfect start for the Dutchman.
Big for the championship. Bono Huis getting ahead of Simoncic then. Actually, Simoncic's start was lightning. I think it was the best of anyone's, and he was trying to go around the outside of Kasdorp in turn 1, but must have had to blend out the throttle slightly, and it just allowed Huis up the inside into 3. So a great start, nowhere to go, and now the worst case scenario, looking behind the man he has to beat really in this race.
Now we're on board with Huis, who's trying to get a move done on Yuri Kasdorp, who has a bit of a slide and a twitch coming out onto the hanger straight. Huis unable to get close enough. Interesting to see what Baldi's race pace is going to be like, because as we've said, he's got a best finish of 9th, hasn't really competed at the front of the order so far. So is he going to be a bit of a stopper in the bottle, a little bit of a moving roadblock for these drivers, or is he going to try and pull away? Well, he'll obviously try and pull away, but is he going to be able to pull away up at the front? Watching Bono Huis coming through the left, then the right. Simoncic still there in 4th position as it stands.
He's close to the back of Bono Huis here. I think Huis went in so deep into the to the Vale chicane. Thought he was going to rear end the back of Kasdorp. Kasdorp's now really close to Baldi for the lead, but doesn't think about a move here. Can he get a perfect line out of the loop this corner, turn 4? That will slingshot him. Oh, he's had a big slide. That's probably done the exact opposite. It's going to give Bono Huis a chance. And that's Kasdorp very, very close and just a little bit too eager on the throttle then exit 4.
On board with Huis. Baldi leading just 0.2 of a second ahead of Kasdorp. Coming through the right-hander.
Baldi's not quick.
No.
He's really bunching them all up right now, and Kasdorp, I think, knows it. That's why he's pushing it hell for leather to try and come through straight away, because Baldi's qualifying lap was brilliant. His race pace doesn't look so good, and Bono Huis now tucked right in behind Kasdorp as well. It's so close.
This is going to be a tough one here for Baldi to hold the lead of the race. They come through Maggots and Beckett. Simoncic will try and take advantage. Huis now right behind Kasdorp as they come out onto the hanger straight under the Bogarts Bridge and towards Stowe, but at the moment still none of them are making moves, although as I say that, to the outside goes Kasdorp for the lead. Round the outside at Stowe is going to be quite the move, and he pulls it off. What a great overtake from Yuri Kasdorp. Baldi is still in there. We're on board with him now. Bit of a lock-up, but the job done from Yuri Kasdorp.
Not yet, though. He went in a bit hot for the final chicane there, and now Baldi's right behind him again, coming up towards turn 1. We're on board Bono Huis in 3rd place, and we're going to have a great view of this. Baldi behind Kasdorp. Huis might make it 3 wide here.
Thinks about it, to the inside. Baldi's going to hang on. Huis to the outside again. Lots of tyre smoke coming off Kasdorp in front. And now Simoncic has got the run on Huis. This could be key for the title fight. On board with Simoncic, down towards Brooklands. Huis is going for the attack on Bowdy. Bowdy goes in too hot. Keeps it all together. This is intense stuff at the moment.
Kasdorp not getting away there. I think Bowdy was a bit chicken at turn 3. He was so close behind the back of Kasdorp. You just thought he's got to be going for the inside there. Went for the outside, and that was when Bono Huis just thought, well, I'll have a go then. And they went side by side. Bowdy's still ahead. He's gone wide there on the exit of Copse, but that hasn't slowed him down. And somehow he survives. But Kasdorp out front now has got to try and break away.
This is the replay of the start on board with Bono Huis, and this is how he ended up getting past Jerne Simoncic. Didn't get a great getaway.
Simoncic's reaction was so good to the lights going out. He just reacted quicker, got alongside, but then had to just blend out. And that's what allowed Bono Huis to come up the inside. And from this point, it was difficult for Simoncic to fight back, really, with Bono having the inside for 3. And then almost going into the back there of Kasdorp at 4.
Lap 3 of 7. Kasdorp out in front, 7 tenths ahead of Bowdy. Huis in 3rd, Simoncic in 4th, and they're right together. So they, over the course of this lap, they've lost ground to Kasdorp and Bowdy, haven't they? And here comes Simoncic to the outside. There we see the focus from the face of Bono Huis. Holding on to the position at the moment. Lucas Blakely is right involved in the fight as well.
Huis is in trouble here. Really scrappy through 3 and 4. Lockups, and now he's defending straight away from Simoncic.
Simoncic to the outside. Go all the way around the outside at Brooklands. Great move from Jerne Simoncic. No, Huis is still in there in 3rd place at the moment. Simoncic gets the drive. This is not going to be over for a long time.
What a move that was, though, from Simoncic, right around the outside. I think he tried the lap before, and I think Huis thought that he was going to go for the cutback, switchback, exit, and he slowed it on the apex, and Simoncic just drove right around the outside. They're still side by side into Maggots and Beckett's. Surely you can't go too wide there, and they just didn't. But this is going on for now. Simoncic, crucial move though, and now it's Capit that's next up behind Bono Huis, and now Simoncic has got to check out and try and catch Bowdy and Kasdorp.
They have disappeared, Kasdorp and Bowdy, but now Huis goes to the outside, and he gets around the outside at Stowe, and then it's Capit going into the back a little bit there of Simoncic as they come down into the left-hander at the Vale and then out through Club. So lap 4 of 7, Kasdorp leads, Bowdy 2nd, Huis is back into 3rd with Simoncic in 4th. What a race, and it's all kicking off behind them as well.
Now this is for the championship, the 2 main protagonists, 3rd and 4th. Huis had DRS then down the hanger straight. That gave him a huge run. But now we're going to have the reverse. Simoncic will pick it up on the exit of this corner now and should attack once again down to Brooklands. We've only got a few laps left, and Simoncic has to surely get ahead of Bono Huis and ideally catch those 2 ahead.
On board with Dennis Lind, who's fighting with Mike Epps, 2 of the real-world racers that are involved in this Sim Masters. Lind to the outside. Can't get it done. Now out onto the old start finish straight once more. Into Copse corner. And that's the replay of Simoncic and Huis. Such good racing between them, and they're just leaving each other enough room as they come down into Vale. It is Huis who's still in that 3rd place, half a second now ahead of Simoncic. He's managed to get a bit of a margin.
Simoncic clear of Capit, who's now looking behind him at Blakely, Epps and Lind. I tell you what, that touch there from Huis and Simoncic, you would not fancy that in real life. Exit of Stowe corner, just the left front of Simoncic kissing the right rear of Bono Huis. And yeah, they got away with it, but super close, just about, gave each other enough room, and they lived to fight on another day. Lap 6 of 7, and here we go again. Simoncic now eyes only forward at Bono Huis, and Huis with a lock up at 3, feeling the pressure. Simoncic has to get this corner right, turn 4, because then there's a long run down to Brooklands, and look how close he is.
Here they come. Simoncic looks to the inside. Huis doesn't cover it, and Simoncic goes through. Up into 3rd place. Nice clean move that. But Huis will now sit in behind. We're on the penultimate lap of the race already. What a quick race this has been.
Flown by, absolutely flown by. They're still going at it. Bono Huis now tucking back in behind Jurnej Simoncic. And of course, he'll get the DRS if he can just stay close enough through the next few corners and have another attack down at Stowe. But he didn't defend into Brooklands that time and gave Simoncic the inside. And that was one of the more simple passes.
Penultimate lap of the race. Simoncic immediately hugging the left-hand side of the road as he tries to keep Bono Huis behind. Down into Stowe they come again. We're on board with Huis. They're about to start the final lap. Kasdorp still out in front. Baldi has had a great race, to be honest, to be able to sort of sprint away from all of this.
I think he's been fortunate also that Huis and Simoncic have been having the mother of all battles pretty much the entire race long, with the championship at stake as well. It's been fraught racing between the two, but they're still going in 3rd and 4th, and there's still just half a second between them onto the final lap. But that has allowed Baldi and Kasdorp just to march away pretty unopposed out front, and they won't catch them now.
Final lap of the race. Bono Huis in the top, closing in a little bit on Jurnej Simoncic. Not quite enough though at the moment. But he'll have one more go down into Stowe, you would have thought. Kasdorp's lead 1.5 seconds ahead of Baldi in 2nd place. Fight, intense fights all the way through the field. Lind on the back of Risto Capit now in the fight over 6th position. But keep your eyes on Bono Huis, because he's very close to the back of Jurnej Simoncic. He might just go, runs out a little bit wide at Kops and straddles the curbs a little. Through Maggots, Beckett's. And the start and the hanger straight, I think he's too far back, you know. I think that Simoncic is going to hold this, but Yuri Kasdorp coming through Stowe corner now. He's had a podium finish in the first race at Zandvoort, but that's been his best result of the season so far until now. Yuri Kasdorp through the final corner. A great drive from the Dutchman to take the win at Silverstone. Huge delight for Kasdorp. It's going to be 2nd for Baldi, and it is going to be 3rd for Simoncic. So that will close him in on Huis a little in the championship, but not a huge amount. Again, so much is going to come down to this reverse grid action.
That was an awful lot of racing to finish back where they started, to be honest, wasn't it? But at least he beat Bono Huis. That's the main thing, and it is, as you say, going to come down to the reverse grid later on. That's been Huis's probably best point, though, in the championship so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have got the winner, Yuri Kasdorp, Gergo Baldi in 2nd place, Simoncic in 3rd. Here's a look at the full results. And good drive from Lucas Blakely. He finished in 5th position. Risto Capit in 6th. Dennis Lind again doing a good job to get up with the top sim racers, some of the top sim racers, the top sim racers in the world, to be honest. And I think we can hear now from Jurnej Simoncic after what was such an entertaining race. Jurnej, what a great fight with Bono. We really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? I guess you did, because you came out in front.
Yeah, either way, even if we ended up in swapped positions, it would still have been enjoyable, especially because it's basically title fight. One last race to go with the reverse grid, and we are pretty close at the top of the standings. So yeah, that makes it even more exciting. And yeah, it was great. I would say clean racing. Maybe there was a slight touch, but yeah, if it's 7-lap race, then of course there could be a slight contact, but I still didn't want to risk much. And in the end, DRS made my life easier.
Yeah, it was a really clean race. We really enjoyed it. What are you nervous about the reverse grid race? How difficult is that going to be?
I was nervous for the first event, but after that I learned that nervousness does nothing, because it's basically random race. You have to stay out of trouble, but it's still so much of randomness that there is nothing to be nervous of, because nobody knows what will happen anyway. So I will just enjoy the jungle and see where I come out ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Jene. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Wow, just enjoy the jungle, Matt. Amazing. So we have got the Sim Masters title fight to go down to the wire. But when we return, it's not what everybody tunes in for. We love the Sim Masters, we love the Pro Cup, but the Legends Trophy is particularly exciting. What can Fernando Alonso do around the Silverstone circuit in a 1970s Formula One car against Jenson Button? Let's find out soon.
Incredible race. That might be, I know we've had a lot of great Legends battles and seeing names like Button and Alonso battle. As you say, he's coming up. That and those moves, the drafting, the outside passing, the slight wheel contact, that was an incredible race between the two title protagonists. And I enjoyed every minute of that. Obviously, DRS is a point worth talking about, Julia, because it does lend itself quite well at a track like Silverstone.
It's good. It's a Grand Prix track. And as I said before, at the top of the show, they altered it to help overtaking. And we've seen that. Out of turn 4, the loop into Brooklands is the main point. And we've seen it in the Formula race car. Both races so far have been great racing, sadly for third place, but with the main title protagonist involved. So they're just giving us all the ingredients for a thrilling finale when we get to the reverse grid races.
And the quality and racemanship between the two of them was brilliant. Again, they touched on the touch, but the slight contact. The rest of it was so well constructed and so clean, no alternate lunges. One of the other big title contenders is Rudy Van Buren. He's not with us this week, and that's because his success in sim racing has been so good that he finds himself at the wheel of this car this weekend in Austria for what is his first Porsche Super Cup test of 2020. That's a pretty cool thing to have achieved, I think, through sim racing, obviously doing so through the world's fastest gamer, the first iteration of the competition where he was a sim driver with McLaren, and now he's gone and gotten the real car. Jack, I'm pretty jealous.
We can forgive him for not being here, can't we? Fair enough, actually, Rudy.
Yeah, absolutely. Does have some implications on the championship in the competition, but doesn't change any competition for you guys at home. Here's how you can get involved in one in your own desk, at your own desk.
If you'd like the chance to win a rocket phone featuring 3D screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us, what is the name of the former Formula One Vice World Champion who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi Formula E team? Not only that, there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on rocketphones.com right now, with huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. Still want more? Well, we've got you covered. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy any phone. All you need to do is enter the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to all race fans, no matter where you live in the world. So why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check out the deals.
Pretty cool stuff to get involved in. And if you want to keep involved with everything that's been going on, don't forget to check out @WeAreTheRace on Instagram and Twitter, as well as hitting subscribe down below. Jack's already alluded to it. We've got season 3 potentially. I shouldn't say potentially. It is coming up. We'll hint to that a little bit later on and talk a little bit more about it, Jack. But if it's anything to go on based on this season and the previous, that's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, really looking forward to the next, because at the start of this month, we knew we would be doing a race every weekend in May. Looking forward to it. Excited. But then you get towards the end of May and you think, oh, I hope there's some more to come, and there is. So really looking forward to it. We'll give you more details over the coming weeks, but focus is still on the championships that we've got to be decided today before we look on to the next championship, even though we're all excited for the next championship.
Yeah, and the focus now, of course, being Fernando Alonso and the Legends. He's someone that with a restart in a championship, hey, maybe he's a protagonist. We'll see if he can get it done. He struggled in the Brabham at Zandvoort. It's a bit more of a handful. A few more corners than Indy. We'll get there in just a sec. The Race All-Stars Series, powered by Rocket Phones, gets straight into everyone's favorites, and it is, of course, the Legends Trophy. They're on track for qualifying already. Jenson Button is the man to watch in terms of the championship, but maybe Alonso's come to terms with the Brabham, and maybe he can find his way around in a sorted fashion. It's all straight into the action as Jenson's already on track.
Yeah, well, I think Alonso's had a bit more run-up time ahead of this one, hasn't he? So we'll see what he can do with a bit more practice, a bit more time at the wheel. Can he challenge this man, Jenson Button, who, am I right in saying never won at Silverstone, Jolien? In the British Grand Prix, I don't think he ever managed to win that one, unfortunately for him.
He never did he? Did he? When did he get on the podium at Silverstone?
Was it 2004 in the BAR? Because it was rapid that year. I think he might have qualified on the front row, actually.
Oh, I remember Silverstone was the one where in his Brawn year where he failed to get on the podium, didn't he? And he was winning everything up until that point, pretty much, and then got to Silverstone with the big summer furore in the UK. And had one of the more disappointing races of the season, I think. But he should know the place pretty well regardless. And he knows these cars pretty well. He's been very quick in them so far.
So here is Button coming through the right-hander. And now to start the timing beam, because they're running the classic circuit here. So Button's time starts now coming into Kopp's corner. We'll see the one difference on the circuit. It's down at Vale as he goes out wide at Kopp's and then into Maggots and Beckett's.
This is where the cars should look spectacular through. Slight drift through the first part of Maggots. Fairly neat through the left and then the right. And that actually looked quite neat and tidy for Jenson Button. These cars tend to want to oversteer like mad when you throw them into the corners with any speed. But Jenson trying to keep super smooth, as was his way in Formula One. Steering wheel as well, and no, very little modulation, to be honest, on the steering wheel through Stowe corner. And now we come to the new chicane, the Vale old school quick left flick, and then into this right that brings us onto the regular track again.
Into the right-hander at Vale. Now into the loop section. We'll get all the lap times in a few moments when they come across the line. Petter Solberg is flying. I think he's going faster than Button. Solberg across the line. He's the first driver to set the lap time on a 1:50.519. Here comes Button, and he's a couple of tenths away in Sector 1. Solberg has really impressed me throughout this Legends Trophy, I have to say.
He's been great. He's done a great lap. He's ahead of Montoya and Pirro and those two guys have been pretty quick. And he's neck and neck with Jenson Button then through the final corner. What can Button do? Still the time super close.
Button across the line. And his pole. Wow, what a lap from Jenson Button. He goes 6/10 clear of Petter Solberg. Magnussen is half a second adrift, but Alonso's gone purple in Sector 1. Here comes Tom Coronel. Through the right-hander and out onto the timing line now. Coronel goes 13th. What can Alonso do? I think he's up in the middle sector as well. There is the two-time world champion down in the bottom left. Alonso to the line.
Lap here.
Button on provisional pole. Alonso goes quicker by 6/10. What a huge lap from Fernando Alonso to take pole position for the Legends Trophy.
Do you think he's done some practice?
Fernando Alonso starts on pole position, 0.6 of a second ahead of Jenson Button, with Jan Magnussen in third spot, Petter Solberg in fourth, Juan Pablo Montoya fifth, Brabham sixth, Pirro seventh, Liuzzi eighth, ninth Servia, and 10th for Mika Salo. Wow, what the top two are in a class of their own. Well, they're in two of their own classes, aren't they, pretty much?
Yeah, the A class, the B class, and then everyone else in a very tight C class. But first of all, Button's final sector was huge. That really lifted him clear of Solberg and co. Alonso's lap then after that was just up in every sector, probably nearly every corner. And what pace he's unlocked there, ran a long lap, putting it all together. Last time he drove these cars, he was pretty quick, but very erratic. I'm just so sure he's been dialing in a lot in the last couple of weeks, certainly the last week. And he's put it all together spectacularly there.
So the first Legends Trophy race about to get underway. It is Fernando Alonso starting on pole position. Jenson Button alongside him on the front row of the grid. Button looking to wrap up the championship title if he can beat Emanuele Pirro in this one. Pirro, who had a bit of a difficult qualifying session, not up on the front two rows of the grid. Jan Magnussen and Petter Solberg are in there instead. Dario Franchitti struggled in qualifying, down in 19th place. 8 laps of the Silverstone circuit about to get underway. Alonso pole, Button in second. His main title rival Pirro starts in 7th place as we wait for the lights and the charge down towards Copse Corner. This is on board with Button in the top right. Here we go. The Legends Trophy is underway. Good start from Button. Alonso away nice and clean. Immediately sweeps across in front of Button. That was so close. Button to the outside at Copse. But Alonso gets the drive through and already has 3 or 4 car lengths over Button. Magnussen is in third place. Solberg is 4th. Montoya 5th. Pirro, Brabham, Herta, Servia and Papis. The rest of the top 10. So Pirro has gained a place at the start.
Alonso setting his intentions out straight away within meters of the line, just chopping aggressively the front of Jenson Button, but luckily Button just about didn't have an overlap and didn't have a big contact before even getting to turn 1. But Alonso super aggressive, and he's still got the lead then. Jenson Button still second, and now Solberg with Magnussen battling for 3rd and 4th.
On board here with Petter Solberg in 4th spot. Trying to get past Magnussen. You can see how much these legends have to work at the wheel. Montoya's off, Solberg out, and then Pirro up into 4th. So that has all unfolded pretty nicely for Emanuele Pirro. Oh, not anymore, he's up on 2 wheels. And Solberg can't believe what's happened. He's rejoining the circuit straight in front of Dario Franchitti. But Alonso serenely out in front. Magnussen 3rd, Servia 4th. Pirro, I thought it had all opened up for him. Then he got wiped out down at the Vale. It was chaos.
Solberg went rally crossing through Abbey, turn 1, fighting oversteered grass tracking, and then came on and went far too deep into turn 3, wiped out Pirro and a few others. And Solberg himself now down in 8th place. It's really benefited the top 3 though. Alonso, Button, Magnussen, probably the 3 quickest on balance over the season. Certainly Button and Magnussen, and Alonso since he's been in the series. And now 1, 2 and 3 out front with a nice cushy 3.5 second gap. Back to under him.
So there is Pirro, tucked in behind the light blue of Herta, and just in front of the dark blue of Juan Pablo Montoya. We're on board with Jason Plato, who's climbed up into 11th place, trying to get past Tom Coronel. And unorthodox there. Oh, Coronel slides and gets wiped out by, I think it was Castro Neves. 3 wide here, meanwhile. Oh, Montoya in front. Herta gets through as well, and Pirro drops behind both of them now. Down to Vale. And this is the part where the track is different. They come through the quick left-right flick at the chicane. Oh, where is Herta going? Montoya's up into 5th.
Herta drove really nicely at Stowe to get back in front of Montoya on the exit, and now Pirro's going to come back through on the inside at Abbey, and Herta then at the front of that pack a few corners ago has just gone to the back of that particular battle into 7th, and again nearly rear-ended the back of Emanuele Pirro in the same corner as Solberg did a lap ago. But nice racing between the three of them, and in the end Montoya coming out on top. But for 5th place now, big gaps opening up in front. Montoya's got 3 seconds to find to Serbia, and then 6 seconds to Magnussen in 3rd place. There's a long way to go after that lap 1 carnage.
Fernando Alonso leading the way. Button in 2nd, 2 seconds adrift. Then it's another 1.6 seconds back to Jan Magnussen in 3rd. Serbia, Montoya, Pirro, Herta, Solberg, Turner, Plato. The rest of the top 10 at the moment. Here's a look at the replay of just Herta running wide, but cool shot nevertheless.
Yeah, nice drift. That was these cars. They do look good in slow-mo, don't they? When drifting, that time a little bit too wide for Brian Herta. But generally, the standard of driving has got so good for these guys as well. They're all getting better with every week, and they're able to now slide these cars on the limit fairly routinely. And earlier on, I mean, it seems a while ago that all the races were just chaos with spins as often as good corners. Now, the level of professionalism is really, really high, not least from this man, Fernando Alonso, 3.5 seconds up on Jenson Button, 3 seconds up, and marching away. He's taken the level up again, it seems.
Alonso into Abbey. Through the left at Farm and then down towards the village loop. You see obviously the camera slightly in front of the game pictures. Jenson Button now comes through in 2nd place. And Magnussen really closing in. They're lapping about the same pace, Button and Magnussen, but Alonso is pulling away up at the front. Serbia 4th, Montoya 5th. We're on board with Mario Dominguez in the top right. Here's Jan Magnussen in 3rd spot. You see him down in the bottom left. Darren Turner trying to make a move here on Herta now. Looks to the inside and gets through. Or does he? Not quite. They're still side by side. And out onto the start-finish straight again. Yellow flag in sector 1, so maybe some of the front runners have had a bit of a moment. We'll keep an eye out on that one. Turner finally, though, makes the move for 8th position.
Good driving from the two of them. Herta's falling backwards a little bit, but really nice attempted defence there on Darren Turner. Herta now dropping further and further back from the back of the Englishman. But yeah, lovely driving between the two. Clean. That's what you want to see. Another yellow in sector 1, so someone is having some moments there, but we haven't seen it, and so far, clean action.
Side by side with Plato. Antonio Liuzzi fighting over 9th position. Down towards Vale. Liuzzi doing well to keep ahead of Plato. Has climbed up the order quite well, because I think he started quite far back. Here's a replay of Liuzzi getting past Plato then. I think the other way around.
Around the outside into Stowe, and really it just came from the exit of Beckett. Good run, and just clean around the outside. Nothing that Jason could do there in terms of defence. It's quite a quick corner, and you can't charge in too quick. You'll probably just loop the car with the oversteer they've inherently got. So nice move from Liuzzi up into 9th, but Plato's still in the top 10. You spoke to him just before the race, and he didn't think he had much pace, but a top 10 is pretty solid going.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's still behind Liuzzi, but I'm pretty satisfied with that, I would have thought. Lap 5 of 8 now, with Alonso leading 4.3 seconds ahead of Button. His pace advantage is huge here, Fernando Alonso.
I wonder how much Jenson's enjoying this race right now, because he's so used to being the class of this field in the Legends races in general, the non-reverse grid races. if he's not winning, he's having huge fights with the likes of Emanuele Pirro or Jan Magnussen. And you always feel like Button's got better pace, but he's not able to find the way through, and the others have been driving really well. Suddenly, Alonso, after his thrills and spills in Zandvoort, has knuckled down to this so well, and he's now pretty much 5 seconds clear on lap 5. I mean, this is some performance.
Yeah, amazing stuff, especially after the Indianapolis outings last week. Herta in 12th. Dario Franchitti's got up to 11th. I believe he had a drive-through penalty for some reason in qualifying, so that's why he wasn't able to put in a representative lap time. So he's down in 11th spot, but having climbed up from the back of the field. As we see Herta in the bottom. Oh no, just as I say that, Franchitti's in the wall in a very strange place.
I only saw where he ended up there. He just went straight on at the old Vale chicane. Backwards.
Lap 5 of 8. Franchitti out. Alonso about to start his next lap. Magnussen closing in a bit on Button. As they come across the line, the gap is down to 1 second. So Magnussen's doing a good job, but neither of them can match Alonso out in front still. And I think we might have just lost Oriol Servia, so that promotes Montoya up into 4th, Pirro up into 5th.
Magnussen's doing a good job. We're watching here in 3rd place, really keeping good tabs on Jenson Button just ahead. Without Fernando Alonso, you'd say this was shaping up to be a really good race at the front. It's just a shame that Alonso was checked out from everyone. But Magnussen, as has been the case so many times, is really trying to take the fight to Jenson Button at the front of this field. He's one that I just really think should have been in championship contention. But the amount of kind of needless reverse grid incidents that he's had have just cost him loads and loads of points. But he's been quick throughout, and he's right there with Button again.
So if it finishes like this, Magnussen will still just about be keeping the championship fight alive. So it won't be wrapped up for Button if it remains. And to be honest, anything can happen in the reverse grid race. As we see Montoya now ahead of Pirro. But you're right. If we do more Legends stuff over the next couple of weeks as well, it'll be nice to see everybody like starting from the start, if you know what I mean.
No.
You know what I mean.
What? Alonso joining from the beginning?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone starting from the start. No, you're right. I think clearly Fernando's come in, and do you think he ever turns up to anything without a burning desire to not only win, but just try and demolish and really show the best of what he can do? I mean, he's the most ruthless competitor that I think I ever raced against, and he's turned up to this sim racing, and week 1, sure, he was involved in some incidents, and you thought, will that demotivate him? How stuck in will he get? Bounced back last week with a double win at Indy, and now he's come back and he's taken it on again. He's even quicker. At Indy, he was fighting. He didn't qualify at the front, and he was in a race-long battle with Jenson. Here, he's not really given anyone a sniff, apart from suddenly Button's right on the back of him.
There's Montoya in 4th place. Pirro right behind. Penultimate lap of the race.
Alonso must have just gone off or something.
Yeah, you're right. Because he must have just made a mistake. But I think he's still got quite a big advantage, actually. I've just seen them up at out of the corner of my eye, and it still looks like. Let's have a look. What happened to him?
So we're into the. He's gone walkies. He's forgot what track he's on. He didn't turn into the old chicane. Bit of a brainwave or lack of brainwave for Fernando Alonso, and he didn't turn left on the track. He just went straight, trying to do the old track, and then realised when he saw the cones blocking the way. But that'll cost you a few seconds, Fernando.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one chicane you are allowed to cut. Get it?
He's good at cutting the chicane. Oh no, wait, that was me.
Alonso leading a second and a half ahead of Jenson Button. Magnussen in third spot, Montoya fourth, Pirro fifth, Papis and Castro Neves battling over 11th place. As Alonso now is on the final lap of the race. Castro Neves there in 11th spot. And it looks as though this is actually going to wrap up Jenson Button the title if it finishes like this. We thought it would keep the title fight alive for the final race, but I don't think it's going to. Fernando Alonso nearly called him across the line to win, but of course we are using the old pits, so he's got half a lap to go.
Wonder if he remembered that. Start slowing down before the end. Caught a few drivers out in the past, but he seems to have regathered his focus suddenly, and now he is just a couple of corners away from an entirely dominant win. But as you say, Jenson Button will be happy with this. Pretty unopposed. Jan Magnussen's done a great job to just stay within a second of him, but Button over the series has been dominant. Over the race, this has been spectacular from Alonso.
It's going to be a third win in a row in the Legends Trophy for Fernando Alonso. What a performance from the Spaniard. He is now coming out across the line, and Fernando Alonso takes the win in the first Legends Trophy race at Silverstone. A dominating drive, but Button across the line in second place wins the Legends Trophy Championship. Wins money for the charity of his choice after such a strong season. Here's Jason Plato running in 10th place, so it looks like he's going to hold on to his top. After we spoke to him before the race, he wasn't feeling particularly confident, but looking a little bit better now as Plato comes out of the final corner, as he has done so many times in touring cars and Formula 3 cars. And this time he finishes in 10th place coming through Woodcote. But it's Alonso on pole and the winner. Button in second, Magnussen third, and that makes Jenson Button the provisional champion with $25,000 US to go to the charity of his choice. But Fernando Alonso, I mean, wow. And a really, really strong performance from the Spaniard, and I think we can speak to him now. Fernando, you performed really well on the ovals last week. We weren't sure how it would be on the racetracks because with Zandvoort it wasn't amazing, but here today was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, Zandvoort, I had the rig like 12 hours before the race, so yeah, and it was a little bit of a mess, and the car is tricky and difficult to drive for the first time. And yeah, obviously Silverstone, I know very well the track, and that was an advantage as well for this weekend.
You know the different track though, which we saw at one point down at Vale.
Yes, I was looking at the distance and a little bit the race behind me. I know that Magnussen and Jenson were fighting. I was watching the delta time between them. So yeah, automatically I forgot the new layout, and I went for my normal F1 layout.
Well, congratulations. A great win, Fernando. Well done.
Cheers. See you later.
So there we go. Fernando Alonso. So interested in the fight behind, Matt. He didn't do his own race.
Yeah, you say it's a loss of focus. It's almost too much focus because he was in that autopilot muscle memory. This is the track I know. I'll hit my marks. Wrong marks, unfortunately. So I guess easy to get caught up. But man, oh man, he is dominant right now. 3 in a row. Next season might be very difficult for anyone else to have a chance. That is impressive. And I agree with Julian. He is super competitive. We're going to get more competition when we get back in a sec. Well, Alonso just absolutely looking perfect so far. Well, I shouldn't say so far. I guess Zandvoort, but as he said, 12 hours to have the sim. A little bit of practice and things change. Maybe we got to get him in the Pro Cup next time or get some success ballast. I don't know how that's going to work, Julian.
What about the Sim Masters? That's what where Dennis Lind and Mike Epps ended up when they were too strong. Who knows? But I mean, it's so impressive what he did. And the Zandvoort, I think there was... and you could say the writing was on the wall. When he qualified second row, the sim had only just turned up and he got straight in and did a good job. It was similar to Jenson Button straight out the box, but this level is unparalleled really so far. I don't think we've ever seen a Legends race be dominated quite that much. And I imagine Jenson might be just putting in another little bit of practice before the next one.
Well, Jenson can at least rest right now happily because wraps things up in his position. Obviously now the champion and the $25,000 to a charity of his choice. Jack, he's been pretty successful and obviously quite generous in that regard.
Yeah, he's got a lot of coin for charity, hasn't he? Really good stuff from Jenson Button. You have to say a deserving champion over the course of the year. He's had various threats, you know, a bit of Pirro, a bit of Magnussen, now Alonso, but overall, Button has been there throughout. We can speak now to Jan Magnussen after that race where he finished in third position. Jan, congratulations. Place, you happy with that?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Are you happy with the third place in that race?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought the race against Jenson was going really well, but I kept making mistakes. So every time I was kind of within, then I would fall back. And then I got a bunch of track limits warnings, and I wasn't sure how many you get before you get penalized. So then I had to be a little bit careful. But, you know, catching Jenson and getting by him is two completely different things. So, but quite happy with third. But championship's over now, and now we'll just have some fun. More fun.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Looking forward to reverse grid.
Thank you.
I think you were spot on as well in saying during that race that Magnussen could have been a title contender, was ultimately, but could have been much closer if not for a few little mistakes. Some of the reverse grids got caught out. If he tightens it up, let's not just put it on Alonso and Button for next season. Pirro's still there. Magnussen's there. Montoya's looked quicker lately. It's still a championship by no sleight of imagination.
He's had a 10th and 11th and a 14th in the reverse grid races, in 3 of the 4 reverse grid races. And that's where the points to Button have disappeared from, because Button's been finishing 7th, 3rd, 5th, 3rd in the reverse grids. That's where the points are, and that's why it's so exciting looking ahead to the Sim Masters and the Pro Cup, the reverse grid races we've got coming next, because that's where the championship is going to be won, in how well you can come through reverse grids.
And that championship, let's focus on that a little bit. Aston Martin has the lead currently. Mercedes brought in Stoffel Van Dorn to try and close that down. It looks like Esteban's in position to wrap up the drivers. But the fact that Mercedes have gone for the ringer and they had the 1-2 in the first race, Jack, this is the battle right now. It's a 4-car race for one championship.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really entertaining. It's going to be really intense as well. And we're going to be focusing on the 18th, 20th, 24th of this world to try and find out who's going to win this Pro Cup this afternoon.
Well, welcome back again to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. Get your calculators out because now it gets difficult. Your difficult job as well, Julian and Jack, is to keep track of the reverse grid and where 4 people in this particular race finish. Oh, look at that. He's got his lovely calculator. It looks smarter than you already, so I trust it. But it's Aston Martin versus Mercedes for the Constructors' Championship. And we have to watch all the way down the order to see where they're going to finish because all 4 were near the top in the first race.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. I think Gutierrez is looking in a very strong place for this. There's no denying that. I think it's the Teams Championship in the Pro Cup that's going to be lit as far as that fight is concerned. Obviously, if Team gets a good result, so to give you some clarity on this, you get 50 points for a race win. So that's the kind of margin we're talking about. So being 23 points behind, if Team finishes in the top 10 and Gutierrez doesn't score, then team is the champion. So, like, it's not completely out of reach here, especially considering the chaos we've seen in other races. I think Eastwood's a bit far away. And the same is true here, Aston Martin and Mercedes. So we've got one leading the Drivers' Championship, one leading the Teams' Championship. It's going to be great.
It's almost going to be a bit of cat and mouse because there's been chaos, as we said, Jolien, and you've got to work your way through the order. Maybe they send one aggressive and one reserved. How do you approach this as a team as we look to get started?
You can't afford to lose a score, really. I think they've both got to try and make their way. The two Mercedes drivers have obviously got more to do in terms of the championship, but then no one can afford to be too cautious. To be honest, with how much chaos there can be in the field, even being cautious, you can be hit from behind or whatever. You got to have eyes on only forwards, really, when you're starting at the back, and pick off as many places as you can and be aggressive with it.
There's a look at the grid as we get ready to get this race underway. Buncombe 21st, Eastwood 22nd. Here come the lights. Here comes the season finale of the Race All-Star Series Pro Cup. It's Daniel Rowbottom on pole position as we get away. Nicky Thiem on board within the top right. Immediately, it's a good start, though, swinging into turn one for Rowbottom. Prio didn't get away particularly well. Can Thiem make it safely through the first couple of corners? Plowman is up into 7th place. Rowbottom leading, Prio 2nd. Van Uitert in 3rd, Chavez 4th, Calderon in 5th, and Thiem's in all sorts of trouble. Huge crash up there for Nicky Thiem, and he's got bogged down in some chaos. And what has happened to Montoya there? He was suddenly up in front of everyone. Did he go straight on? There's chaos everywhere, but Rowbottom is leading the way. Let's try and pick out where the championship protagonists are as they come down into the left-hander at at Brooklands. We're on board with Nicky Thiem, who's 21st. Chaos.
I think Van Dorn is quite high up. Yeah, he's 16th, but Eastwood is 17th as well. So the two of them have charged up. The drivers that would technically maybe be the number 2 drivers, but here we go. Eastwood on Van Dorn. Who's that just in front? It might be Ye Fei as well. And these guys still fighting it out for championship contention. And again, Mercedes have to beat Aston Martin, and Charlie Eastwood doing everything he can to try and stop that happening.
Oh, big slide for Charlie Eastwood. I thought he was a goner there, but he keeps it together onto the hanger straight. He is a goner now, and he's over the barriers, and he's had a huge accident, and that is a huge blow for Aston Martin's title hopes.
What happened? Did he get rear-ended by Tristan Vautier, maybe? He must have done, to end up just spitting off into the barrier on the right-hand side, on the hanger straight, is the only explanation. That he got hit from behind and skewed off, Kimi Räikkönen style. Räikkönen 2014, down the Wellington straight. It was a similar sort of thing, I think, and Eastwood is going to be hemorrhaging points for Aston Martin now, and Thiem was in the walls on lap 1.
Van Dorn, meanwhile, is carving his way up the order and is up into 15th position. Bradley Smith trying to get around the outside of him, though, as they come back through the left-hander at the loop. And then out onto the Wellington straight again. I'm getting all my straights mixed up. Whoa, someone's broadside on the Wellington straight. That'll give Van Dorn another position.
That was the true Kimi Räikkönen crash for 2014, that one. Straight into the wall on the Wellington straight. Eastwood, I think, is still going. Oh no, Eastwood then in the pits and out with so much damage. He was literally over the barrier at one point, and that is bad news for Aston Martin. Where is Gutierrez and where is Nicky Thiem in all this? Van Dorn right now doing a brilliant job, the super sub.
Prio leading, Rowbottom 2nd, Montoya 3rd, Van Uitert in 4th, Bradley, Adam, Chavez, Aitken, Ingram and Pull, the rest of the top 10. As it stands, Esteban Gutierrez would win the Drivers' Championship. Nicky Thiem attacking Vautier, getting up into 18th place now. And that is a move made for Nicky Thiem.
Robust once again, that from team. Exeter Stowe taking no prisoners, but he can't really afford to now. Yeah, Yafe's gone wide. Bradley Smith has gone wide, and that's 2 more places for team. Up into 16th then. Van Dorn's in 14th. It's not over yet. There's only 1 more car between the 2 of them, and team might yet salvage something.
Might be, as Ingram gets involved in all sorts of chaos, he might also be, as he just hit someone. I think someone had already spun, and team now finds himself in 14th position. So next, the question, I suppose, is where is Esteban Gutierrez in this absolute madness? How is he getting on, trying to carve through the order? Ingram slides, gets a hit up in the top right.
More cars pointing the wrong way, more places for team, and Van Dorn just ahead of him now. Where is Gutierrez? Is he still running? I just can't see him in the order anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to keep an eye on him for that tower on the left-hand side.
I wonder if he's out. Team is 13th. Gutierrez is not in the top 20. I didn't see him in the top 25 either. Guerreri's somewhere around, and that keeps catching my eye. But
yeah, same.
Not the right man. There he is, 22nd. I think Gutierrez might be out of this.
Okay, well, we will try and get some confirmation of this for you. But we're on lap 3 of 7. But it's still Prio leading, Rowbottom second. We're on board here with Tom Ingram, who's fighting with James Pull on the right-hand side there. Pull up into 10th place.
Gutierrez out.
Wow.
Out of the race. So, Van Dorn tried to pass in. That made him luridly sideways. And now here comes Nicky Team. So if the one Mercedes, the one Aston Martin in this race, all to play for, and team not able to get through at turn 1. More cars off, though.
If team gets into the top 10, he wins the championship, because he's 23 points behind, and you get 24 points for finishing in the top 10. But now team and Van Dorn are fighting each other. Big slide for team. He's got to finish top 10 if he wants to win the championship, Nicky Team.
Well, he might get gifted more places, but otherwise, Stoffel Van Dorn can do a serious job for Esteban Gutierrez. Ingram's still side by side with James Pull for 9th position, and not quite getting through there.
A computer crash, I believe. A computer crash for Gutierrez.
A technical failure in the final race when the championship is on the line. Heartbreak. But right now, it wouldn't matter for him in terms of the drivers, because Nicky Team is not in the top 10. But he's got the pace to get there. If he can keep it clean, ideally, there'll be a bit more shenanigans ahead, which may well involve Tom Ingram or Seb Montoya or Job Van Uytert. Montoya can't get through, but team's got a great chance here still.
Fights further in front. And this is all over 5th position. Bradley ahead of Chavez, ahead of Buncombe, Ben Yahir and Ingram. Through the left, through the right at Club. And now into the right-hander of Abbey. A reminder, Nicky Team needs to get up into the top 10 to win the championship. And here he goes up the inside of Paul into 11th. They bang wheels, there's a bit of a slide. He'll get the better drive out of the loop now. And then it's Van Dorn, the Mercedes teammate of Gutierrez, who is in that 10th position at the moment. Here comes Team on Pull, down the Wellington Straight, pulls out, and that should be a straightforward move. Someone's off in front. So is that going to be 10th place now? It's Alex Buncombe. Buncombe's on the grass, and Team's into the top 10. He's in title-winning position on lap 5 of 7.
Van Dorn's up to 8th ahead, and Van Dorn then in no position to be a rear gunner to Gutierrez and the drivers, and right now not doing enough in the team's championship either. So this is going badly for Mercedes, and now team onto the back of Richard Bradley for 9th, and this would be nice just as a bit of a buffer so he can then relatively relax for the final bit of the race. Bradley getting a bit scrappy. Oh no!
Oh, he's on the grass. Someone's overtaken him on the left-hand side, and he's still in 10th place, Nicky T. Just about. What drama in the final Pro Cup race of the season. In the Race All-Star Series Pro Cup, Vautier's back through into 10th.
So team's down to 11th again. He's got to do all the hard work again, although did someone just pit ahead?
Just trying to
Smith pitted.
Yeah, you're right. So does that put team back up into 10th position across the line? There's chaos behind. Team still in 11th, and now he goes up the inside into Abbey. They're still side by side. Sells the dummy, late on the brakes. And it's still not quite 10th place for Nicky Team. Vautier is still in front, and they need to be careful because they've got a car right behind as well. Down the Wellington straight once more.
Is that Canapino behind? It is, and he's quick. Canapino can get in the mix here.
We're on board with Canapino. Team, does he get the job done? No. Still, Tristan Vautier is in there. Team sends it out wide, and he's going to lose out to Canapino. Team down to 12th now. He's got to make 2 places to win the championship.
Wow. In the space of a lap, through no fault of his own, Richard Bradley lost the car, and team had to back out of it. I think it was Bradley Smith that shot straight past him off the road, and then Tristan Vautier passed him on the road, and he's ended up back down in 12th. So the pressure is really on. And look, there's only 2 cars, even in the close proximity of him. The top, the group ahead of that is just gone. Bradley Smith up.
Here's a replay of Richard Bradley having a nice slide. Dab of Oppo, you might say. But what is Nicky Team up to? He's still in 12th place, right behind, Canapino, who's now attacking Vautier. So but we're on to the final lap now. Final lap, oh, big moment for Canapino. His team going to take advantage. He's looking to the right-hand side. There's a spinner. Canapino's up in the air. Team's into 9th. Absolute carnage down the start-finish straight. And Nicky Team is gifted 9th position out of nowhere. Vautier's up into 8th, and Team's in position to win the championship.
And one of those out was Van Dorn. Van Dorn has gone from the top 10 as well. He's down in 17th. That's going to give Nicky Team the championship and Aston Martin the championship in one fair swoop. Huge moment there, and Team can breathe a sigh of relief.
Through the right-hander at Luffield. Out onto the start-finish straight. The old start-finish straight. And then into Copse Corner. Team is still behind Vautier. I wonder how much they're all in communication. I wonder if Nicky Team knows. Here's a look at the replay. So this is what happened then, looking back from Tom Ingram. Oh, so Van Dorn got in with, was that Bradley Smith, and then speared back across the circuit, and that was the huge accident. No, Smith is still there. Still Seb Prio is leading the way, but Team now on the final lap is in title winning position.
I think it might have been Chavez and Van Dorn. Van Dorn was having a great drive until that, and he's inadvertently given the title to Team.
But here's Seb Prio across the line. He wins the race, the reverse grid race in the Pro Cup. But it is Nicky Team for Aston Martin who wins the championship, both for he and, I believe, for Aston Martin. We'll wait for confirmation on the team standings, but certainly Nicky Team is the winner of the Drivers' Championship. What a season it has been.
What a race. I mean, it was chaos at all times, but I mean, it went down to the final lap. Brilliant racing through the whole series, and what a finale that was.
Wow. Great win for Seb Prio. There you see the final points, and Nicky Team finishing in that 9th spot wins him the championship just about. Really good stuff. And we're waiting on confirmation for the team's championship. I think it's going to go the way of Aston Martin, because Van Dorn only finished in 18th. Team finished in 9th. Gutierrez didn't finish, so yeah, there's no way that Mercedes have overtaken Aston Martin. Aston Martin are the team's champions in the race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones, because Eastwood there in 21st, 6 laps down, so he was classified as a point scorer as well. So Aston Martin win the team's championship, and It is Nicky Team who wins the Drivers' Championship. Absolutely unbelievable drama in that final race. It's like every time, Jolien, that I think it's just sim racing, you end up with like drama. It's absolutely unbelievable. In fact, we're going to speak now to Charlie Eastwood, who, despite a mad race and a bit of a crazy accident, Charlie, Aston Martin are the team's champions in the Pro Cup.
Yeah, brilliant result. Yeah, to stay out of carnage, the whole championship's going to be difficult. And yeah, it was one of those freak accidents driving down the straight, and before I knew it, I was doing a barrel roll over the bridge down to Stowe. So yeah, that definitely wasn't ideal. But yeah, what a result. And yeah, great job by Nicky as well. I think he nipped into the top 10 to take the Drivers' Championship as well. So yeah, we're absolutely buzzing. Everyone's going pretty mental on the Discord.
How much are you in conversation with Nicky, and how much does he, because he doesn't like to come and chat to us, how did he know he needed to be in the top 10?
So he doesn't really like chatting to us either in the race. That's why you probably saw in race 1 we nearly had contact. He goes into a different channel, but if there's any big problems, the guys, the engineers, will speak between ourselves if we need to. But yeah, great result, and thanks to Strangy and Patrick, they've been a massive help, because going up against the likes of Mercedes, they leave no stone unturned, let's say, and yeah, it was a big fight the whole way to the end. So yeah, great to get the result.
Well, congratulations, Charlie. Aston Martin, the champions. Nicky Team, the champions. We've got more titles to be decided when we come back with the Sim Masters.
That whole race was tougher to follow than Brazil in 2008. That was ridiculous. I didn't know what was going on. I do feel for Gutierrez. Computer renders him out of it from the very beginning. Yet he still had a chance right down to the last lap. Look, in real life, mechanicals happen that are out of the driver's control. It still sucks, but that was exciting all the way through.
Mansell 86. Was it 86? Adelaide?
Yeah.
Not his fault. Losing the championship because of that. These things happen. It was thrilling stuff. Great drive from Nicky Team, and a clean sweep for Aston Martin, which I don't think I would have seen coming, especially after that, because they were just very consistent. They just got the job done over the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks. No huge results, not even any wins. Did they win a race over the course of the last few weeks? But they've managed to wrap up the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they did, actually,
no
unless
wins.
Eastwood snuck one in, because Nicky Team hadn't. But obviously he goes as champion, which is ridiculous. Congratulations to him. Obviously, new father to Isaac this week. Very, very cool all the way through. And yeah, I thought Vautier was going to be the Aston Martin antagonist for a while. Took out Eastwood and got the position on team right at the end. It looked a little worrisome. Nonetheless, we look on to what happens next. The Sim Masters coming up. We go into their reverse grid. But first and foremost, we have our race winner to speak to, Jack.
Yeah, Seb Prio has joined us. Seb, congratulations. Great win. It looked like quite a straightforward race for you from the front.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the reverse grid, but happy to get my first win, in the All-Stars, online racing. And yeah, I got the overtake done nice and early, and just kept my pace, just controlling the race. It's one of the easiest things being out front. You can control the pace, and yeah, had a bit of pressure from behind, but just kept focused and pushed forward. So it was, amazing to win my first race.
Great. And how have you enjoyed the whole sim race? Are you new to... We've spoken to your dad a bit in the Legends Trophy, but are you new to this, or is this something you were already sort of up and running with?
No, I've done a lot of this before, but I absolutely love it. It's great to keep your mind going. Obviously I'm not racing. No one's racing at the moment. And it's just great to keep my, mental reactions, and everything just racing. It's just great to be able to do it at home. So.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very cool. Great to see Sebastian get a win before the end of the season. He's been steadily improving, I think, each week as well. But yeah, ridiculous carnage, excitement, impossible to follow. And Nicky Team, I would say pulled a Kiki Rosberg, but he actually won a race. So maybe it's more Rick Kelly 2007 supercars. And Bono Huis might be able to do the same thing in the Sim Masters if he doesn't win the next race and still comes out as the champion. Pretty special or odd in some ways.
Yeah, well, I think who was it? Was it Keke Rosberg won the championship in 1982, only winning one race. Yeah, that's the closest we got in Formula One. But what that race showed is just how unpredictable this reverse grid race stuff is. Like, you think teams up into 8th, and then suddenly he's crashed, and then someone else has crashed, and it's absolute mayhem. So, and it was interesting to hear from Jene Simoncic earlier, one of the title protagonists against Bono Huis, and he said, I was nervous for the first reverse grid race. Now, there's no point being nervous, because it's almost not up to you. If you're starting on pole or second and you've got to do, the quick laps, then that is on you, but you just got to avoid the carnage, and I think luck is going to play a big part in it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see how that plays out and transpires. There's been some people that have been very good at it. We'll speak about that in just a second because the Sim Masters is about to hit the track. One championship concluded on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. It's time to get to the bottom of another. And it's time for Bono to go O-nub because he's been best going backwards in the reverse grids. That's where the bulk of his points have showed up from. And maybe if he does it again here, or does his luck run dry, he could wrap this up, Jack.
Yep, absolutely. He has got a decent advantage, but less than the advantage that Gutierrez had over Nicky Team. So there's just 17 points between Huis and Simoncic. To get 17 points, you need to finish. Let me just tell you. To get 17 points, you need to finish 16th. So a 16th place finish for Simoncic and Huis not finishing gives Simoncic the title. That's how low down the order these battles are going to be taking place. So you've got to be careful out there. Kuba Brzezinski not racing this weekend, unfortunately. So it is just those two up at the top that are going to fight it out, and they are starting at the back of the grid together. As far as the team points are concerned in the Sim Masters, Mercedes, can they wrap up the title here? Brendan Lee and Bono Huis, the two drivers, but Burst Esports, which is Jene Simoncic and Michi Hoyer, are going to be trying to challenge them. So all up for grabs again as we head over to the grid. And there you see Boya Milan starting in 5th place on the grid. Liam de Waal in 7th place. Now, Brendan Lee in 8th place. That could be big for the Mercedes team because he is ahead of Michi Hoyer in 12th, which could work out as far as the championship is concerned for the teams. The cars are all joining the grid now as we get ready for race 2, the reverse grid race for the Sim Masters. You see Yannick Bock down in 20th position for the GPVWC All-Stars team. Nikodem Wisniewski in 17th on the grid. And then Bono Huis, 24th, the championship leader. And 25th behind him is going to be his title rival, Jene Simoncic. Pavlovsky on pole as the race gets underway. Zbigniew Ciara alongside him on the front row. Berukov has got a great start into turn 1. We're on board with Simoncic in the top right. Look at that. Him and Huis are right together. And Huis gets the jump. Gets a couple of places. We're looking at Kevin Siggy down in the bottom left. He's a driver who did the reverse grid trick and is now running in 3rd. Gets rear-ended a little bit. As everybody... Oh, there's a bit of chaos coming into the left-hander at Vale. Simoncic, does he make it through? He takes to the grass. And he emerges unscathed in 17th position. But where is Bono Huis in all of that? Siggy running in 3rd, Pavlovsky leading, Ciara. There's Lucas Blakely going past Jene Simoncic. And there's Bono Huis in 20th, side by side with Simoncic. But that's enough as it stands for Huis to win the title. Jolien, he doesn't need to overtake him, he can just trail him, finish vaguely nearby, and he's the champion.
And if the last race was anything to go by, that might be easier said than done. Here we go. He's actually might pass him now into Copse. Looks for the inside. And Simoncic slams the door shut. And then he's actually going to lose a place, I think, Bono Huis. is that Mike Epps just behind, trying to go through side by side. And all he needs to do is get himself involved in a needless tangle, and he's going to hand the initiative straight to Simoncic. It's one thing being cautious when you're at the front of the pack. It's another thing being cautious when you're in 20th position.
Yeah. So tight. So they swing through the right-hander now. Down towards Vale. It's going to be a long race, this one. Well, it's going to feel like a long race for these drivers, especially Bono Quies. For Jurne Simoncic, it'll disappear in an instant, I would have thought. And I think we're going to see a less of a disparity between the pace as well compared to the Pro Cup race.
Because the field is that much more even, and I mean, there's just more depth in the field, really, in terms of these guys are all pro sim racers, basically, and they're all incredibly fast. Bono Quies there is, he's still behind Simoncic. That must have been the other two then. Was that Michi Hoyer trying to pass Brendan Lee, or going side by side for 8th and 9th? That's the other one to look out for. The teams battle, and they're 8th and 9th. They're running together.
Great fights all the way throughout the order in the Sim Masters. And Quies here looks to the inside of Simoncic, but not enough.
Simoncic maybe is going to just back Quies into the drivers behind, and he needs Quies to get involved in an incident somehow, just to get unlucky, basically, or have Yuri Kazdorp or Mike Epps, Hanya Yoski. There's really quick drivers behind still. Simoncic needs them to have a bit of a nibble at passing Bono Quies. Here goes Simoncic on the inside for 18th place. Not able to make it through cleanly, as he's still side by side in towards the tightened Vale chicane. But now Simoncic on the outside. And that is going to be a nice move, I think, in the end. Still side by side, and now he's got the inside. And look at Bono Quies trying to just take advantage as well.
Great fighting here. Coming into the right-hander. Oh, Simoncic gets a bit of a hit on the outside. Quies in the Mercedes trying to get involved in the fight. Lucas Blakely's in there. They're side by side with Yannick Bock. So it's 4 wide through a hairpin. What are they doing?
It won't work. 4 wide surely doesn't work at the loop, and now they're all fanning out, and I think Simoncic has lost out somewhat there. Here we go on board. Who's on his inside? Oh, that's Mike Epps, and it's a shunt. He's still ahead of Bono Quies, and Mike Epps, I think, passed the two of them and then took himself out.
On board with Simoncic now in 20th still. Trying to get past Yannick Bock. Lap 3 of 7 already. Here's a look at the replay then. And this is on board with Bono Quies. Cool new camera angle that was part of the latest build of R Factor 2, but Quies was right in that melee. He'll have damage for sure.
He's got good pace considering for the moment, but you would have thought so. I mean, that was big contact there on lap 1. Simoncic now under attack from Bono Quies at Stowe. Quies goes for the inside. Simoncic hangs on, and they're still side by side into Vale. Simoncic cannot afford to lose this position, and he doesn't. Deep enough on the brakes at Vale, and manages to maintain ahead of Quies. But in backing him up, he's got a line of drivers all wanting to try and pass Bono. That's the critical bit for Simoncic's championship.
We are on lap 4 of 7 already in the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. This is the Sim Masters, and it's so difficult to just figure out who's who in all of this chaos. But Simoncic is there in 18th place. He needs to make up places and hope that Bono Quies behind him drops back if he wants to wrap up the championship. Through into Luffield they come. We're on board with Lucas Blakely in the top right.
Simoncic at 18th then. Regardless of what happens to Bono Quies, Simoncic has to find places before the end of this race. Laps are running out. We've only got 3.5 laps left, and Simoncic soon is going to have to just press on and try and make ground and put himself at least in a position that if something does happen to Bono Huis, he will be champion, similar to what we've just seen for Nicky Thiem and Esteban Gutierrez. Someone running off there, but that shouldn't cost too much time at that corner.
Huis still in 19th place. Down into Stowe again. Pawlowski still leading, by the way. 1.6 seconds ahead of Kevin Siggy. Zbigniew Ciara in third, Peter Berliak in fourth, and Leon de Waal in fifth.
By the by, then, Siggy's passed Ciara for second place. We're so focused on this title fight down in 18th. But Kevin Siggy, who has been a rapid front runner, is now up to second place, but still best part of 2 seconds off Pawlowski.
Lap 5 of 7. Through the left. At Vale. Still, we've got Lee ahead of Hoyer in the Mercedes Burst Esports battle. But it's amazing that they're both together on track. Considering the strength of drivers in the field, we've seen them wheel to wheel for the last 2 races. This is the battle for 10th. Through we go again, onto the old start-finish straight. One of the corner markers going flying. Lind's trying to cover the inside line from his attack from Jiri Toman. Toman runs out a little bit wide. Through Maggots and Beckett's they come, and there's just a little bit less chaos in this race, isn't there? Simoncic needs more chaos than this. He's in 18th at the moment, but he's still just ahead of Bono Huis.
He's got to press on now. He's got to press on and invite Bono Huis to press on with him and maybe cause the chaos. But Bono's just got to keep it clean now. We're about to go on to the penultimate lap. And they are catching now the pack ahead. Simoncic has just got to go for it, get as many places as he can, and hope that Huis comes a cropper. And luck is on his side really now. But so far these guys, as you say, Jack, just so clean that they're not giving Simoncic a look in really in terms of championship movement.
Lap 6 of 7. There is Jerne Simoncic out in front, coming down into Brooklands once more for the penultimate time. Through Luffield, it's a bit kicking off in front. This is squeezed behind. Still watching it all unfold and not making any progress past Simoncic either. I mean, this must be fairly comfortable at the moment for Huis.
It's hunky-dory. Winning the championship in 19th place, sure. It doesn't matter that you're 19th. It's all about being close to your rival, and that's his rival just in front. In fact, Bono Huis now super tucked in behind Jerne Simoncic, and they're all going to get a run on the back of the cars just ahead. But this is fine. 19th place, one more lap to go and a couple of corners, and if he keeps it on the tarmac, Bono Huis will be champion.
Down into Vale again. Final lap of the race started by Kamil Pawlowski out at the front. He's had a very straightforward race, you have to say, with Kevin Siggy in behind. Final lap of the race for Bono Huis, still behind Simoncic. I can't see Simoncic getting this.
He's got too much to do, hasn't he? I'm surprised he's not been able to push forward, considering this is probably our quickest man over the 5 weeks. Now he's trying to pass the couple of cars ahead, but he's left it a bit late now anyway. Too much needs to happen. He needs to pass cars, and he needs Bono Huis to come into trouble, and with the corners rapidly canting down, I don't think it's going to happen for him.
Through the right-hander, out onto the old start-finish straight again. into Kopp's corner. Yannick Bock and Vlad Tokarev are fighting it out in front. Pavlovsky leading still, 1.5 seconds ahead of Petr Berliak. So Berliak has got ahead of Kevin Siggy in the fight for second position. We go on board with Huis. He's going to wrap up the title, surely. Here comes Kamil Pavlovsky through the final corner, out across the line, and Kamil Pavlovsky wins the reverse grid race in the Sim Masters from pole position. Petr Berliak in second place, Siggy in third, but here comes Bono Huis, who, by finishing right on the tail of Jurnej Simicic, wins the Sim Masters Championship in the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. Wins the championship having not won a race, but the consistency for he and the Mercedes AMG Petronas team has given him the driver's title. And I would imagine the team's title as well going into this one, but we will wait for confirmation of that one. I can't see that Burst Esports have been able to overhaul that. Michi Hoyer finished in front of Brendan Lee, but I would say basically they haven't been able to. So Mercedes have wrapped up the Sim Masters team's title and the driver's title with Bono Huis. Here's a look at the results after 7 laps of racing. Kamil Pavlovsky taking the win. Petr Berliak in second spot. Kevin Siggy in third. Zbigniew Sciara finishing in fourth position. Fifth is Liam de Waal. Hoyer, Lee, Terzic, Haddad and Dennis Lind, the rest of the top 10. But we can speak to our champion now, Bono Huis, who is joining us. Bono, congratulations, the driver's champion and the team's champion.
Yeah, a good day in the end. Quite hectic there at the end in the reverse grid race. I think I had a car on top of me for like 10 seconds at the start. I was afraid it was not going to go away and I would be stuck at the back of the grid. But fortunately, it all cleared up and I could go through, but the car was completely done. So I had no grip, no front wing, no nothing, and was just trying to make it to the end. And it was nice that Simicic was in front of me, so I knew what I had to do, and I just stayed behind him and brought it home.
Were you across what was going on with Brendan and Michi Hoyer for the team's title?
Yep. Yeah, I was watching the Delta on the LCD screen a bit to try and keep up with that as well. So I knew that was safe as well, so I didn't take any risk. Yeah.
And winning a championship without winning a race, have you done that before?
No, I don't think so. It's also been a while since I've won a title at all. So good to be back on R Factor, I have to say. I'm really enjoying it. Just feels like I'm at home basically with the car and enjoying it a lot more than other championships that we've been doing the last couple of years. So yeah, enjoying it, and consistency was the key in the end, and we brought it home.
Okay, congratulations, Bono. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Consistency is key in the reverse grid rules. I'm just really glad Bono didn't call me out on the bet I made with him if he won or lost the championship. So we'll just forget that ever happened, and it's good to go. But good to see him winning. Doesn't participate in as many championships as a lot of his teammates do these days. And it's great for Mercedes as well to see. Obviously, it does it Formula One esports, but some of the other Porsche Cup stuff in the offseason. But it's great to see Mercedes get a championship and a team's championship today, considering the chaos that was the pro driver race, Jolien.
Yeah, they managed to bounce back, really. So, again, a double champion. Mercedes this time, much more routine for them. They didn't have all the chaos they had in the pro race.
Yeah.
And Bono champion. What was the bet you had with him?
We'll talk about that later. I'll let Bono tell you that one, okay? I don't remember it personally. He came up with it. Sorry. We'll have to talk about it at another time because we've got to take a break. We'll see you in just a sec. Well, a pretty special day for a guy like Bono Huis and for Nicky Thiem. Both of those guys winning the championships despite not winning races all season long, both forward and backwards, all 10. I know it's 5 weekends, but the reverse grid and the original race, the feature race. Jenson Buttons wrapped up our Drivers' Championship as well. He's won a few in the the Legends Trophy, but we still have the Reverse Legends Trophy to go. And the story now is, how much can Alonso do? Can he win 4 races in a row, starting backwards?
Well, I think what we now have is just fun for the reverse grid race, don't we? There's nothing on the line, just a bit of a laugh. But let's just quickly go back to the Sim Masters race, because the race was won by Kamil Pawlowski, and I think we can have a quick word with Kamil now. Congratulations, Kamil. A great drive from you on the reverse grid, and you managed to hold off Kevin Siggy and Petter Berliak, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because it's my first podium in the series and it's actually a win, so I'm very happy with that. I felt very confident on Silverstone. I had the consistency, I had a good pace, and I've managed to bring the car to the finish line with good tire wear. So yeah, the consistency here was the key. So yeah, very happy with that.
Congratulations, and we'll see you hopefully for the next season.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Cool. See you then. Sorry about that. For some reason, I totally forgot I was doing an interview there. So we finished talking, and I thought, oh, no one's talking. And I meant to do that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I hope we see him next season, and the next season of World's Fastest Gamer as well, because I got to meet him a little bit during the second iteration in California, and two guys stood out in terms of their manners and just how polite and awesome and enjoying the experience they were. It was him and Johnny Wong. So really, really cool to see him get a win in this championship. Very awesome. And like I say, hopefully we get a chance to see more of him, maybe with that results moving to the next race. Next season, I should say, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can get involved in World's Fastest Gamer as well. The third iteration starting soon on Gear Club. So download that on iOS and Android. While you're there, download the Race Esports podcast.
Why not? I'm sure Claire Cottingham is whispering in your ear, right? It can't be your doing that you're plugging it this many times. Well, we'll see. And don't forget as well, just to follow all of our socials. We've got lots of stuff going on. As we say, the third season is promised. We'll get more on that a little bit later on, but it'll take place over the course of June, which would be a lot of fun. Jolien, maybe you're going to be back for more? You're going to come commentate, or are you sick of Jack by now?
Look, if I'm not invited to race, then I'll happily come back and commentate. I'm enjoying it. It looks like great fun racing, though, particularly the Legends. So I'm still waiting by my phone.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully the phone will go off soon. We'll look forward to that Legends race now. As you say, Jack, not much on the line. A little bit more fun to be had between them. And certainly that could be great for maybe seeing guys like Pirro go all out again. Maybe Montoya sneaks another surprise result. I shouldn't say surprise, but he's been inconsistent. So maybe he'll get up toward the front again once more for us at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm really excited by this reverse grid race because we can see the drivers overtake. There's plenty of overtaking opportunities on the Silverstone circuit. Alonso coming through from the back with Button. Are they going to come through together? It's just got all the ingredients to be really great. And what a great send-off to this first Legends Trophy season, because it has been absolutely brilliant. I've got so many friends who were watching it who don't watch, sim racing normally. It's really getting them involved. My neighbor Peter is watching now. He's never watched esports before, but he likes it because of all the really cool people in it. So yeah, looking forward to this
like Jolien.
A lot. Yeah.
Well, the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phone reaches its final race. Our championships have been decided, but we're still going to look at the results and how Jenson Button was able to do so before we have a little fun for our finale. There is the points table, Jack.
Well, I guess there's second place up for grabs, isn't there? Pirro and Magnussen going right together. Solberg there in fourth place, considering he hasn't really been involved since the very start. He's done really well. Montoya in fifth. Turner, Salo, Brabham, Liuzzi and Franchitti completing the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. So, yeah, I think the Pirro-Magnussen fight is going to be the one to keep an eye on for second position. That'll be a bit of fun.
Well, we're going to get into the race very, very shortly. Alonso, by my math, has 150 points based on those 3 wins. So pretty remarkable that he's that close, but all to do from the back. Jolien, it's Silverstone. Maybe a chance if you can remember which way he's going this time.
Yeah, I don't think he can afford any more of that. But I think he's got a great chance here because his pace was just that good that, he obliterated even even Jenson Button in that last race, who we all have seen carve through the field. So it's a track where you can overtake. He's got a chance.
It's Jason Plato who is going to be starting on pole position, though, for this reverse grid race as we get ready for the start of the final race in the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. And what a way to finish with a reverse grid Legends Trophy race around Silverstone. Pirro starting in 13th, Petter Solberg in 16th position, Brabham there in 14th. Then we got the trio at the back, Magnussen, Button and Fernando Alonso. Plato on pole. 8 laps of racing about to get underway. Really looking forward to see how this one unfolds, and hopefully it'll be a fitting finale to the season. Plato on pole, Jourdain alongside him on the front row of the grid. Final race of the year. Off we go. Good start from Plato. A little bit slow from Jourdain. Franchitti gets tucked into 3rd place as they swing into turn 1. We're on board with Alonso in the top right as someone comes across him and wipes out, but Alonso keeps going and he's already up into 11th place. Button is in 16th place. Jourdain's in the lead. Franchitti in 2nd spot.
Plato never lined up on the grid. From pole position, he was never there. It was Jourdain on the inside who's taken the lead unopposed. Franchitti in 2nd and Alonso's 9th, looking for 8th already.
Here he comes. Going to the outside into Stowe. Liuzzi disappears in front of him. It's like I don't know if you saw on the Races YouTube channel, they put up an onboard of Alonso in Indycar, and you ride on board with him and it's like you're watching a video game. He just drives past everyone. I mean, you are watching a video game also, but it's just unbelievable. Look, he's going to be 5th by the end of the first lap here. He's on the back of Mika Salo. Not quite.
And I know that these races are filled with chaos, but I don't think it's a coincidence that in 2 races from the back, Alonso has halved his way very, very quickly to a race-winning position. This was always a skill even when I was racing him, and he was in the McLaren that was struggling with the Honda engine, and it was all going badly for him. You would always find him in the race, charging, positioning his car in the perfect places, and managed to drag something out of it. And right now, he's in 4th place from the very back in just over a lap.
Amazing stuff from Fernando Alonso. Jourdain leading, Franchitti 2nd, half a second behind. Alonso's up into 4th place. Tom Coronel is in 3rd at the moment. We're on board with Dario Franchitti up in the top right. The Button's only up to 13th place as Mario Dominguez runs wide. Papis
and that was the difference in Indy. In Indy, the reverse grid, the non-reverse grid, Alonso and Button went toe-to-toe the entire distance, and they were clearly the class of the field. The reverse grid, Alonso carved his way through the field better than Button in the opening lap or 2, and he broke away, and that's exactly the same now. Alonso goes through shot, and Button's 6 cars further back.
Here they come, down towards Stowe again. Lap 2 of 8. There we see Herta on board. Turner spinning. On board with Juan Pablo Montoya now as he runs a little bit wide. Through the Vale chicane. And out over past the wing. And down towards Abbey again. So Jourdain's still leading, only 3/10 ahead of Franchitti. Alonso is right with Coronel, if not ahead of Coronel. And there he is ahead of Coronel. So Alonso up into 3rd.
Through at turn 3, then he was super close through 1 and 2, and then just slid underneath Tom Coronel through the apex of turn 3. And now he's just got the 2 in front who are fighting for the lead. Franchitti pulls to the inside, and that's looking like it might happen.
This is how Alonso did it going up into Village. Got the inside line, and that was a straightforward pass really on Tom Coronel.
Coronel not really making that too hard. Now what's happened at the front of the race we shall wait with bated breath. But Franchitti then still 1/10 behind Jourdain. Didn't make it through, but now has another look on the inside at Copse, and he doesn't make it through either. It's at that time. But look at Alonso now, just third, and homing in on these two. They're squabbling, and that's not going to help their cause.
So Alonso charging forward. Franchitti will know that Alonso is on his way. He'll see it on his heads-up display as he comes charging now down the Hangar Straight. On board with Franchitti. Whoa, hits the back of Jourdain, almost loses it. And is that Alonso's chance? He's going to be right on the back of Franchitti as they come out over the past the wing again. Lap 3 of 8. Alonso closing still. Oh, Franchitti goes in a bit deep into Village. On board with Alonso. Gets the cutback, gets the drive, and gets second place. Now can he close in on Jourdain? It's like he's playing a different game.
He's so quick, isn't he? He needs to be doing the old track on the regular. That would add another couple of seconds to his lap times, and then he'd be on an even playing field. I mean, he's so quick. And he just seems to have grip, where Franchitti's scrabbling around with oversteer, understeer, washing wide. Alonso's just neatly on the right part of the track and going very, very quickly with it. Just 1 second now behind Jourdain. And you just kind of know this is going to be a matter of time before he hits the front. Meanwhile, Jenson Button still 8th. Jan Magnussen's done a good job to be up in 6th.
Yeah, he has actually. Salo has just got in front of him. Button now gets in front of Magnussen as well. So I wonder if Magnussen has made a little bit of a mistake out there somewhere to suddenly be dropping down the order quite so much. But here comes Jourdain. Well, more to the point, here comes Alonso closing in. On board with Button as he makes a place on Mika Salo and up into 6th position. Here's Alonso though. It's a matter of time, isn't it? Surely just a matter of time.
Turn 3. Through, well, the new turn 3, I should say, but through the old, I'm getting confused. The new 1 and 2 into the new 3 Village corner. And he didn't really close in too much there, but now the loop. Franchitti might have a little nibble back if Alonso doesn't get this one right on Jourdain. This is his chance then. Down the Wellington straight towards Brooklands. Franchitti has gone AWOL on the exit of that one.
Alonso right on the back. Franchitti is still there. Oh, Jourdain! Alonso hits Jourdain! And Franchitti gets up the inside and into the lead of the race. Well, I think Jourdain was the one who made the mistake there, but Alonso nudged the back of him. Franchitti took advantage now, and they're battling for the race lead. Who'd have thought? Franchitti versus Alonso.
Jourdain's carrying on in 3rd then, but he went a bit wide, and Alonso, I think, caught himself out by just suddenly having a big closing speed in the apex of the corner, just tapping the back of Jourdain and sending him into a spin. That allowed Franchitti through on the inside. I think Alonso was busy watching Jourdain, and here we go then, the replay of it. So Jourdain is tighter in, and then, yeah, maybe Alonso was trying to go just around the outside, and Jourdain just sort of slowly was trying to pick up the car. And Alonso, I think, just misjudged Jourdain coming across and just tapped the back of him.
On board with Alonso as we come out towards Abbey once more. Jenson Button's up into 5th place, trying to pass Oriol Servia. But now we will see Alonso versus Franchitti. Franchitti started at the front, or towards the front of the reverse grid. Alonso started at the back. He's trying to close in on the Scot. who's done something that Alonso's never done. Won the Indianapolis 500 3 times, in fact, for Franchitti.
And he's commentated with Jack Nicholls.
Well, and Fernando Alonso, and he dreams of that.
You reckon?
I don't know. No. I think I'm quite fun to commentate with. I think he'd be okay. I think he'd be up for it.
No.
Jolien, I think your line's cut out. Button up the inside of Serbia. In the 4th place. And now closing in on Jourdain. Coming through Pop's corner. And is this going to be the moment for Fernando Alonso to get Franchitti? Surely not into Maggots and Beckett's. He's trying to set him up though, isn't he, for a run down the Hangar Straight. Little bit of a mistake for Alonso. And that allows Franchitti in the Big Machine Vodka car to pull away a little bit more. We're live on ESPN at the moment in the States, and they're collaborating with DoSomething.org, which is an organisation for young people and social change on a sports-themed campaign for athletes, sports fans and graduating seniors called the ESPN #OneTeam Challenge. Over 34,000 young people have signed up to participate in the One Team Challenge to date, and you can join DoSomething.org's #OneTeam Challenge to go to the website or text esports to 38383. So thank you to the Do Something Challenge. This is the fight though for the lead. Dario Franchitti leading it at the moment, goes a bit wide. Alonso's going to try and get the cut back here. Franchitti keeps it neat and tidy, but I don't know if he can hold this off for the rest of the race. Alonso's got a great run. Franchitti holds his line. Alonso pulls out, down into Brooklands, side by side for the lead, and Alonso's into the lead of the Legends Trophy. Gets ahead of Dario Franchitti into Brooklands, and now the move has been made. Button, meanwhile, has got him into 3rd place.
Nice move in the end from Fernando Alonso. I think that was a long time coming. He just had better pace, and in the end managed to make a nice clean pass on Franchitti. Here's the start then. That's Jenson, Button ahead. Let's see where Alonso passes Button, and Button actually had a better start, went through the middle, and then Alonso's just going to carry more speed around the outside, off the track. Nice little ding-dong, and he's found another couple of places, but a trademark Alonso around the outside start that was.
Yeah, vintage stuff from Fernando Alonso. As he then picked up a couple more places. I dare say we might have all of his overtakes on the race's YouTube channel this week. If we weren't planning on it, then there's a task for the editors. Into Stowe, then Pirro and Liuzzi got together, and everybody just seemed to disappear. Max Papis parted ways.
He's just on top of the machinery, isn't he? He knows the limit of traction mainly, which is where everyone else seems to be struggling a little bit more, but then braking as well. And then when everyone else is flailing around trying to find the edge of grip, he's just breezing through. Franchitti's still with him though, still within a second. Dario out front with a lap and a bit to go.
Tenths of a second between them. This is Mika Salo and David Brabham fighting over 7th spot. And Salo's going to get a run here. You can see him talking or something on the left-hand side as they come down the Wellington Straight again. Oh, Solberg thought about it. Solberg hasn't quite been at the races today, I feel, considering how strong he's been recently.
He qualified well earlier on, didn't he? But then he got in the wars on the first lap and binned off Pirro, and since then he's been stuck in that midfield battle. But yeah, he's been making progress in the championship every week. Was pole position at Indy last time, and today a little bit underwhelming maybe.
This was how Button got past Jourdain and up into 3rd place.
Nice and easy on the inside. Oh, and then Jourdain had a bit of a moment and lost it on his own then through the exit of Brooklyn. and left Button to that third place.
Alonso's on the final lap. He's pulled away now from Dario Franchitti. Juan Pablo Montoya in 5th place is trying to pass Oriol Servia for 4th position. But Alonso, he's won the last 4 Legends Trophy races. It's absolutely mad.
Do you think he didn't like the crash compilation from Zandvoort? He watched it back and thought, you know, I can do better than this. And he has, fairly distinctly.
Yeah, there's not going to be any from this one, are there? Final lap of the race. Here is Fernando Alonso into the stadium section at Silverstone, around Luffield. 4 out of 4 ain't bad. Fernando Alonso wins again in the Legends Trophy at the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. 3 seconds ahead of Dario Franchitti after an 8-lap race and starting at the back of the grid. And what happened to Button? Montoya's going to finish 3rd. There's Button suddenly in the fight with Magnussen and Pirro. So Button dropped well down on the final lap, and he's going to finish in 12th spot. He's still the champion, and he still takes the championship. The No Kid Hungry charity is the one Jenson has chosen to donate the $25,000 to. Fernando Alonso doing donuts there on the right-hand side after his double victory. So Alonso, Franchitti, Montoya, the top 3 in that race. And here's a replay of what happened to Button, Jolene, on the final lap.
Right, so we're coming into Abbey.
No, he thinks the race is finished. No? I feel like he's eased off.
But he's ticking along enough, and he's still got a gap at this point, so he's doing okay. And then is he going to stop, or what's going to happen here then?
I feel like he's... I don't know, I just felt like he was cruising there, look. I think he's cruising.
Yeah, now he's basically stopping. And then he realises that he's falling down places, but he doesn't accelerate again all the way down this straight.
Until Pirro and Magnussen go past.
He's limping
Unless
home.
He's waiting to finish with Pirro and Magnussen or something.
Who knows?
Because he's still moving out of the way here. Magnussen and Pirro go through. And then he gets back on with it.
Bizarre.
Wow. There we go. Not sure what that was about, but Jenson Button finishing in 12th place in the second race. Fernando Alonso takes the win. Dario Franchitti in 2nd, with Juan Pablo Montoya in 3rd. Servia and Jourdain completing the top 5. Brabham, Salo, Solberg, Liuzzi and Jan Magnussen, the rest of the top 10. And that is the end of the Legends Trophy season. But we'll be back next week with a new iteration of the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phone. So make sure you join us for that. But the Legends Trophy has been great, but someone's got to sort out Alonso. I wonder whether it is just so much of sim racing, and Matt will know this, is time. You know, there's a strength for a real world racer like you, Palmer, where you get to learn a track like that. And the quicker you learn a track, the better you are. You know, as a fundamental driver. I don't know if you agree with that, but it's the same in sim racing, but you can spend hours. So if you can spend hours perfecting and getting quicker and quicker, you will end up being faster, you know? And I think that's what we're seeing with Alonso, and the other legends might have to do a bit more practice, basically.
Yeah, and credit to the All-In Sports Sim setup. Obviously, it gives him tremendous feel. I think maybe the solution is going to have to be to give him a GP2 engine, Jack, because that might level the playing field. We'll have to wait and see.
Agreed. Throw to the break.
Well, lots to talk about from the entire season, but at the end of the day, Jenson Button finished too soon. I think he was confused. Alonso may have had the wrong chicane picked out, but Jenson had the wrong start-finish line. Thankfully, he'd already crossed the line as champion in the previous race, because that could have been a very costly error, Julian.
I don't know if it was that. The way that he slowed down and let everyone, I think letting Pirro and Magnussen through, and then he floored it. And he was too quick through the hairpins before as well. So I don't know what it was, but maybe there was contact earlier on and he didn't want to finish ahead of those guys or something like that. But sportsmanship, I would say, was at the heart of Button slowing down rather than a brain fade.
Yeah, I think there's some suggestion that him and Pirro had a bump earlier on, and so he was handing that place back, I believe. But hopefully we'll be speaking to Jenson in a couple of minutes' time and we can get it to you officially. But he is the champion. We have all our champions crowned. What a great finale day this has been. I've really enjoyed it. It's really felt like a title deciding day with all the chaos, who's got to finish where, big calculators. Loved it.
Yeah, very exciting for me. The teams championship and the pro cup, that whole battle all the way through was remarkably exciting. And then the first sim race between Bono and Jurni Simontic was just phenomenal to watch. That was some class driving outside, around the outside passes, DRS, lots of testing in the brakes, battling around other cars at times. I thought that was a very, very respectable drive from both of those guys. A little bit of contact as well that they survived through, which was a bit tense. I think, Jolien, you mentioned it. If that was real life, that would have been a hairy moment.
It would have been a controversial moment, that's for sure. For me, that Pro Cup finale, Nicky team on the final lap through all the chaos, just getting into the top 10 to win the driver's title and thus give Aston Martin the team's title as well. What drama. That was best race of the day for me.
And it was the way he was in that top 10, then he was out of the top 10, then he was back in it, and then someone crashed, and then, yeah, great stuff.
It was poetic.
Poor Gutierrez was sitting there probably sweating it inside of his sim rig. There's no question about it, because poor guy didn't even get to take a chance at winning it, and yet nearly still did. So we could see him on the cell phone. I'm sure he was preparing the tweet immediately to let everyone know what happened. Bit unfortunate, but great showing from him throughout the season. Definitely had the pace, and maybe we'll get a chance to see more from him in season 3. We'll tell you all about that in just a sec. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Esports Battle. It's the end of the season. We've got lots to talk about, lots to reflect on, maybe something to look forward to. But first, we need to chat with our champion from the Legends Trophy, Jenson Button, and maybe, Jack, you can find out what was going on that last lap.
Yeah, Jenson, congratulations. First of all, the champion of the Legends Trophy. A superb achievement.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun the last month. Also driving two cars, with the Brabham and also the Indycar. That was pretty awesome. So really, really enjoyable. This circuit, I did struggle to get the car working a bit with the long corners and the understeer in the car. But even so, first race was still pretty good. And that last race, I got spun round at turn 1. So I was basically last after turn 1. Fought my way through, and I came up behind Emmanuel Pirro at turn 1, and he had a car in front of him that braked early, so I ended up hitting Pirro at the bottom, spinning him round. So that's why I slowed down on the last lap. I thought it's only fair to give him the position back.
Oh, okay, good sportsmanship. We love it. And the charity, the $25,000 US, do you know where that's going?
Yes, it's going to be going. First of all, thank you very much for donating. It's going to be going to No Kid Hungry. Millions of kids around the world don't have a meal when they go to school, and they don't have a meal when they come home from school. So especially with the pandemic, there isn't school at the moment. So I think it's a very important charity to donate to.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for choosing them, and congratulations on the win. But Fernando's got a bit of pace, hasn't he?
He has, and the important thing, I mean, the first race he was just quick, and that's why he won. But this one, it was staying out of trouble. And normally when I was fighting for the champs, you take it a bit easier on lap one. But this one, I just hammered it and got it wrong in turn one. But it was absolute mayhem. But he fought through the traffic, and to be fair, then when Jan had an incident in Pirro. It was made a lot easier. But Dario gave him a good run for his money. That's really good to see. Dario had an issue in the first race, and second race was strong. So, no, really good. But, Fernando's definitely got this car sorted. He's learned how to drive with the amount of understeer in it.
Okay, thanks for joining us, Jensen. Congratulations.
Cheers, guys.
Very cool. It's interesting to hear the understeer aspect as well, because when we think of these cars, we think about the throttle oversteer and all the slides that everyone's getting. But obviously, they're even more tricky than we realized up front. Look, it's hard to look at everything and pick a highlight, but obviously Jenson, and for me, the charity aspect is super important, and he's been very generous throughout. And I love, again, that he's picked a great charity. And obviously, as you can tell him talking about it, that's pretty dear to him.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, especially in the current climate, like he says. And he's given it to a lot of different charities over the weeks after winning the individual races before we started doing this series. So, yeah, really great stuff from Jenson Button. This is how the championship table finishes. He doesn't quite extend his lead as much as he may have done, but still finishes ahead of Emanuele Pirro. And actually, didn't mention it, but in that Pirro-Magnussen fight, it means that Pirro for Lamborghini Squadra Corsa finishes in second spot, Jan Magnussen third, Montoya fourth, Solberg fifth. And Franchitti with that last third place at the end there, or second place rather at the end there, means that he gets up into seventh place in the championship standings. And of course, this was the driver who won the first Legends Trophy race at Silverstone on the national circuit, what feels like an age ago. So good to see Franchitti up there in seventh place. Also means he'll be a bit chirpier for next weekend when I'm working with him. But Button, I was going to say dominant, but Alonso.
Yeah, and again, keeps it clean. I think that is the key. Not only did he have the pace, but as Julian alluded to, very smooth all the way through the battles. Knows where to get into them, knows where to avoid them. We're going to send it to a break, and we'll get into all of our highlights from the season when we get back. We might need to put out a Twitter poll or something, because it's very hard to really narrow it down. You've got Indy, the Button, and Alonso battle. You've got today's races, whether it was Nicky Team, in, out, yes, no, is that Glock moment at Silverstone, or if it was the sim race from today with Simoncic, Huis. There's many others, but guys, I'm going to kind of ask you, maybe lean on you. What was the highlight?
For me, the highlight of the whole series was Malaysia, that first round. I know it's a bit of a random one, but it was it felt like the best sim racing event I'd ever been a part of. You had top professional drivers in cool cars on a cool circuit. Then you had the Legends Trophy, and all of a sudden, Sebastian Vettel turned up. It was just like, this is the pinnacle of a sort of esports event for all the different variations and combinations that we've got in it. And then it's just got better and better as the weeks have progressed.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same. I was going to say Malaysia, because the racing that we started in this iteration of the series, it was fantastic. The very first race we had, Esteban Gutierrez and Al Buncombe went side by side into the final corner for the race win. And honestly, that has set the tone, because there's barely been a race where the win has just been a foregone conclusion. I mean, Alonso in the Legends race today was as much as it's been that. And even the Pro Series, Nicky Team coming down to the final lap for the title, it's been a thriller.
Yeah, hugely thrilling. Like I say, you guys at home can let us know on social media what your highlight was. One of you might actually still have a highlight that could top them all, and here's how.
If you'd like the chance to win a Rocket phone featuring 3D screen technology, just go to rocketphones.com and tell us, what is the name of the former Formula One Vice World Champion who currently drives for the Rocket Venturi Formula E team? Not only that, there will be some great offers available exclusively to race fans on rocketphones.com right now, with huge discounts of up to 60% on selected handsets. Still want more? Well, we've got you covered. You can also receive a free pair of Rocket earbud headphones when you buy any phone. All you need to do is enter the promo code RACEOFFER. This contest is open to all race fans, no matter where you live in the world. So why wait? Head to rocketphones.com right now to check out the deals.
So hopefully one of you does have a highlight from that. I'll put mine into the hat as well. And I'm going to say Mario Andretti showing up was pretty friggin' cool. I mean, we've already got Emerson Fittipaldi involved, but to have Mario there, as a legend as he is, the age that he is, to still have that spirit, that competitive drive. I mean, the passion for motorsports, that's pretty cool. I hope I'm that competitive when I'm that age as well. If I make it that far, we'll make it back after this break. Well, we get back to what matters, the championship standings and everything coming up on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. And what a series it has been. 5 weeks this time. Our first season was 3, and that actually meant some people might have thought a little bit more obvious, but it actually drew things out. The reverse grids were a great addition, I think, as well, Jolien, to make things exciting. A bit controversial in some of the strategy within maybe the sim guys, but the rest were excellent.
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it? It just meant that being the fastest guy didn't guarantee you pole and the win, really. You had to fight your way through from the back. I think in the Pro Cup and the Sim Masters, it became evident that actually the reverse grid race was as critical as ever. And that's pretty much how Nicky Team and Charlie Eastwood in the Aston Martin team, but team overall, beat Gutierrez by consistency. He didn't win a race, but he beat Gutierrez at the death by 5 points in the championship.
Yeah, what a brilliant fight that was. And as far as the team's championship is concerned in the Pro Cup, Aston Martin finishing in first and second gives you the win in the team's title. Some 50 points in the end, 57 points clear of Mercedes AMG Petronas Esports. Williams Esports in third, Hyundai in fourth, Bentley, Rocket Venturi Racing and BMW Motorsport the rest of the 7. Sim Masters-wise, Bono Huis, 16 points clear of Jurnej Simoncic in the end. A shame we didn't see Kuba Brzezinski in this final weekend. And I still think there's more to come from some of the Sim Masters guys. Bono Huis saying it's the first time he's won a championship in a while. Well, he's won 2 because the Mercedes AMG Petronas Esports team wrap up that title ahead of Burst with Team Redline in third spot. So yeah, that's how the championship ends.
Well, that's one championship done, but we look forward to another coming up in the month of June. Here's a little bit of a teaser for you.
Racing is underway.
Oh, big moment there right off the start. That's another position gain. He's flying up the order. Super late on the brakes. Oh, that's carnage.
Three races, one championship. I'll say no more. That is going to be epic. Mark the dates, the 6th, the 20th, and the 27th. I know exactly where I'll be. Julie and Jack, I guess maybe you guys will have to join as well.
Are we booked? Are you booking us?
I'll book you right now. I absolutely have the authority.
Okay, great. Can't wait. Pay rises.
Well, listen, with that said, everyone, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute blast. Great to see more and more legends joining. The manufacturers joining this season as well. That absolutely has to go on the record as something very cool because it's giving Sim real legacy at this period of time. And I hope everyone's staying safe at home. I hope you're all enjoying. Thank you for joining us. I can't wait to see you next season. And hopefully this is just a teaser. Hopefully this gets better and better. We'll see you next time on the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones in June.
welcome to the race.
And the lights are out. Great start then.
The Moto2 champion steps into the team that's dominating the championship.
I'm Scott Mitchell from the race. We're here at Barcelona.
Sebastian Vettel is fighting for his career.
There has to be a title assault, and anything less will be a failure.
Oh, and a spin!
You're off to go, bro.